Oh no, we're
Yippee!
living.
We're living. This is so sad. I have to deal with the
Sad.
responsibilities of being alive now.
Most
No.
unfortunate.
I am condemned to be free and I am sad. Big sad. Hold on. Oh, I should, I should just share my screen.
If you would like me to be able to see,
No, no, I'll just describe it to you.
please. No.
You know, there are some people
I
that are just
cannot.
so good at doing, like, playing chess. There's a story
Yeah, they
about
can
Paul
play chess
Morphy.
blindfolded.
Yeah, blindfolded. There's a story of Paul Morphy who was playing, like, multiple people at once in another room. He wasn't even looking at a chessboard. People would call out the moves from other rooms, and he would have all of the simultaneous games playing in his mind. Some people are just built for chess.
I'm
Um,
I'm decent at chess, better than average,
oh
but
yeah.
not that.
No, we are not. But chess is one of those
At
games I
best,
hope to be better at. But that means I'll
yeah.
have to dedicate a lot of time to like studying it. But I'm not opposed to that. It's just that I haven't like I just haven't committed to it, right?
As fun as like learning chess is, I would rather spend my time doing other things, learning other things.
Yeah, but that's just a mindset, man. Just a
Just
mindset.
mindset.
It's just your set of mind. All right. Well, I mean, you can already. I haven't even looked at this one, but I'm already showing it to you.
I haven't really looked at it yet.
I'm gonna look at it
Let's go.
right now.
Got
Uh.
it.
Oh wait, hold on. I flipped the board. There you go. You can flip it by pressing F.
Okay. Stop doing that. Makes it hard to
Yeah,
think.
hold on. Can you solve the puzzle, idiots? Uh,
Best move for white.
Immediately I can see there's a check here and here and here, but they all kind of suck because the queen covers all of them. Also, I learned you can do different colors if I press Control, or if I press
Okay.
Alt, or if I press Control and Alt. So lots of colors.
Many colors.
We have the whole spectrum here.
Um,
Very cool. 4
what
colors.
am I thinking?
I don't think, and I do not am. What? This bishop is stuck. That's very sad.
Yeah. I mean, we're not under a lot of threat necessarily.
No.
I do feel that moving the queen is probably the best move considering where it is already,
But, like, where? Where? I have no idea, like, where to start.
cause like at first I was thinking like queen takes pawn on f7, but that's a losing trade.
No, not F7. Which one's F7? No, that's F7. Yeah, goodness, my
There you
board
go.
vision, awful, doesn't exist.
I was leaning towards that, but that ends up being a losing trade.
Yeah, I was thinking like something to do with the bishop to line these guys up.
Yeah,
but
the bishop's pinned.
yeah, there's also this, but I don't see how that helps
I
us.
was kind
That's
of
very
leaning
like
towards that.
I think
That
that's
actually,
oh
actually that might be it. If you move the rook in and then you do that attack on the pawn on f7, because then the king wouldn't be able to take the rook.
fork the rooks,
So
queen
then
f4. True.
Also, well, no. So you go queen f7. Their queen. Well, after you already move your rook, of course. So like rook would already be on f1.
No,
So
they
then
suggested
after
right
you
here
go-
because then you cover these two and you're protected by this guy here, and it comes with check.
That
That's
would also be good, yeah. And then
there's
I
also
could
this
see
without check. That also works. It's just
I don't really like that one.
these are
I
both
do
possible.
I do think going the queen move is the better one, because you either force a
Well,
the queen
this
trade or
this
the
is
king to run.
this is just more aggressive because it comes with check, so it forces black to do something. This, I mean, I guess it also forces black to do something. If I were to move the queen down here, then yeah, I guess there is no defending both of them. This the queen, I mean, yeah, so it must be queen down, right? Because this the queen will just take. This one
Yeah,
the
but
queen can just block.
then you take back with pawn.
What
But
do you
yeah, that
mean?
doesn't
Like if
feel
I move this
complete.
here?
Yeah, I mean it's defended by pawn. Pawn could take queen, but that doesn't feel complete. Like there's more to it there that we're not thinking of.
Oh
If
yeah,
that is the move.
this, but that because this, of course, is check, so black will just take this. If I move this here, then there is no way that black can defend both of these.
Yeah.
So that must be it. And then I take the other one, or maybe that's a little. Is that? Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Sometimes when you make the move, there's stuff you don't see, as we have learned
Many times.
many times. Are you gonna
Return
fully
of the
complete
tunnel
chess?
vision.
I don't like when people just stop playing. No, we're doing puzzles. These are puzzles. So we're doing
Well-
rated puzzles. You can see, I mean, Lee Chess rating is kind of whack. So don't trust that. But there are
Well,
puzzles.
Person of the stream, this is not the place to be if you want to see the ending of chess. You were
Yeah,
in the
we're
wrong
gonna
place for that.
we don't want any spoilers here, right? We don't spoil the ending of chess.
Yeah.
Lee Chess puzzles are so hard, and that's why they're so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so immediately there's a check here, but that's being protected by this knight.
Yeah.
This is a test of your audience. No, it's a test of us because we suck.
Well,
I mean,
I wouldn't say that we suck. I mean, we've gotten to what 1900 with the puzzle so
we've
far?
gotten better. I just like puzzles. Like puzzles are fun.
I think we do better on the puzzles than we do in actual chess.
Yeah, but puzzles are just cool. Alright, so, I mean, there's definitely a reason why this moved here. It can't just be this. There's probably something else. I mean, unless it is, but then, like, what? Because my thought is, like, I want to get rid of this knight, because then this would be checkmate, but there's no way to get rid of the knights. So, do I just take the free bishop? It looks very free, I'm not gonna lie.
It does.
It looks extremely free. I actually, because these puzzles are derived from real games. Like this, you can see here is a real game by real people. This is a blitz game, so this might have just been someone low on time, actually. That would make a lot of sense.
Probably.
I'm just gonna take it.
I don't. Sure. Well, why not? Okay, so then.
Do I get greedy? Do I get? I can get really greedy.
I would not be surprised if that's the play. Given that White had played that bishop move right before.
But is there something better? You'll never know. We'll never ever know.
Surely there has to be, because once you take that, then either it'd probably be rook take, and then rook just
Well, all these guys are probably not the knight, but yeah. Then it just owns the file.
Take, because then yeah, it owns that.
because of this, then
And
this. And then rook obviously has this, but then again, it's a blitz game, so no one cares about that part.
yeah.
I'm taking it. Nope, that's
Nope.
that's what I thought. It wouldn't be that easy.
That seems about right.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. Sorry.
Okay,
There. Okay.
Okay.
What would
Is
be
it move
better?
Is it move our rook to support it?
Like this?
Move
Double them?
Yeah, move e8 to d8.
I mean, we already got it wrong, but that's
Nope. Okay.
no, that's what I thought. There's got to be something better. Oh, wait. No. No, that wouldn't work. I was thinking something like maybe you could have like a trap here, but there's nothing else supporting.
Well, yeah, but they could block with
the
knight. If you did do that trap.
Yeah. I mean, no, there's the other horse here. Support the queen threatening mates. Like this. And then this.
Oh.
That's not
that
check. No, because then this. That's probably the best move though, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yay! Okay, immediately there's this.
That is very, very tempting.
There's also a bishop here that I can just eat up.
Yeah, but then pawn takes.
It's probably this. And all, no, not that. Or I could take this and then take this. But I don't, cause, wait.
Yeah, but what would they do after you
take
bishop?
After
pawn take or retreat a rook?
It's probably this. But this is guarded by this, so then cause if I do this, and then I do this, I'd get one piece, right? I take the rook, but if I do this, with check, king moves, and then no, not king moves, pawn takes, then I do this, I will be getting 2 pieces for the price of 1 knight, right? So I think that's better. Because by getting rid of this guy, I'll be removing the protector of that, right? And so I think that's it. Yay!
Excellent.
Yippee! I have no idea how to actually beat people in chess, I just do it. You must have a gift. You better harness that that power because the rest of us sure as heck don't have it. Okay, best move for black.
So it's
there's a check
so
here.
We need to figure out how to promote. That's really the only way that we win here.
There's a check there, and then the. No, wait. If we just move this here, then these squares are all taken, right? So the king has to move this way, and then we can just take the rook, right? That's probably it. That seems the most logical. Because we want to take this rook because our king's right here, so we just have to move the king away from it. So. Oh wait, no.
Nope.
I was so hasty because no, you move here and then I take it.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was so quick to.
Yeah, because now the king's far away, that king's never gonna go support that other pawn.
All of you need to stop me right now. Okay, I can take that with Tempa, or I could just put this right here.
No, taking the pawn isn't a good idea.
If I put that there, that attacks this
guy.
Yeah. But they could just move this up here, but then I just take the rook,
block.
So this must be it.
That's probably the better way to go.
But of course, like, we gotta consider other stuff because we are dumb. So
I don't see anything else that's like.
I also don't see anything else. Okay.
I do think that is the move. Yeah.
Yeah. And
then you take rook.
Yeah, is that really an 1800 rated puzzle?
Almost 1900. Damn. All right.
Yeah, as I said, Lee chess rating is kind of dubious. It's a little weird.
Man, I've seen so many of these types of puzzles. I
I
can
know,
never
right?
remember the best way to do them. Is it move rook up?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. King takes, I take this, and we have a pawn here.
Yeah.
But then this,
Yeah,
right?
but they still have a rook doing rook things.
I mean, it's still protected by this guy, so then you could just take the other one.
For now,
yeah. So that must be. I mean, again, I don't see anything else, but then again, I don't see a lot of things. I never see. I never think. I was also thinking maybe like king moves to do something.
Yeah.
But then if then you don't really.
Then you just move back.
But yeah, but then you move back, but then like nothing got accomplished, right? So it can't really be that. Or no, not well. Oh, whoops. If I do this, that, and then you move back, and then I guess, I mean, it's just the same. Rook just moves back, or rook steps back here, and then you just have a bunch of people attacking this guy, right? So better to like go with check to be more aggressive, right?
Yeah.
So rook
then
up.
Then where would king go?
Take pawn.
Up or to the take pawn?
Or yeah, because then the rook here would be protected by this guy, so it can't be taken. So it will take this, and then I imagine our next move is to take that one. There is always this, I guess, but that's probably not a problem. Because then just king up, and then not king up, because this king will occupy that space.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
King down, and then I guess that must be it. Again, I don't see anything else. Nope.
Is it that king move we were talking about earlier?
Moving up here.
Or what if the king goes? Okay.
Okay. Oh, is it to take? You know, maybe we need to stop being so dumb. That makes sense.
Taking the pawn.
You know,
Of course
that makes sense.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We are fools.
We are fools. Okay,
This is
there
why
are
the
many
people
checks
come and
here.
watch us to point and laugh.
Exactly.
Let's see.
There's definitely some sort of checkmate pattern, or at least something to that. My instinct tells me I have to take this rook.
That doesn't feel like a good idea, because then their rook takes and they have control of the file.
Yeah, but that's just what my instinct told me. There's also this, and then if queen takes,
To get
then
the queen away
nothing.
from the king.
And then even then, could also move the queen just in, I guess, but that doesn't really achieve much.
That doesn't really do anything, yeah.
And that removes the defender of this guy, so that's not good. See, moving the queen would mean removing the defense of this guy. So it must be something like this. But like, then what? They would just take with the queen, and then like, it doesn't make me any better at taking this rook or anything. Nor does that open up anything here. Doesn't like free up any space. So it's not like this is a rook otherwise, you know. I could just move you up here, but that feels really weak. Because I was thinking like
What are your thoughts on Queen F6?
Queen,
Threaten the bishop.
like right, yeah, just like move in to be more aggressive. Well, that's the thing, because then this guy will be taken, right? Because moving this queen would remove the defender of this rook. So
oh yeah, and then because you'd be in check, you wouldn't be able to.
You take the rook, you don't have to worry about defending a check with queen. Yeah, there's this, but then this rook takes, and then rook controls this.
And then that rook could also come down at any moment and force us to move our king.
I mean, we could just move it back here, but there must be something better than that. So we're not losing or anything. That's true.
Yeah.
But
I mean, other than position. But...
I just feel like there has to be something better than that. Which is why I'm thinking like rook up here, but then I don't know what comes after that, you know? There's also this, not this. So then these guys are protecting each other, right? And then you're free to move the queen as you want, and also like if you move, or maybe we just have to attack this bishop because it's pinned, right? Yeah. So like if queen here or here, it can't be taken because it's being pinned right now. Or something to that effect. Pawn f4. That's or that's not f4. This is f4. I mean, again, there just must be something better.
Really. I guess it would allow if the rook were to come down, the king can move forward to attack instead of retreating.
If I were to move to one of these squares, then this bishop would be under the threat of two attackers.
Well, you could only really move to d3. You can't go to c2. c2 isn't protected. Well, no, but bishop's pinned, though.
Yeah, the bishop's pinned.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And your rook's not defended. You're right, that is true.
Yeah.
So they would just take this. So yeah, moving the queen is kind of out of the question. Sad. Which is why I feel like we need to move with tempo, right? Or if this...
Wait, what if it is rook to like e6, because then it's defended by the pawn. You're threatening to take that bishop.
So this here, and then
if they take, you push pawn. So you take with pawn, and then
but like
they don't have control of the rank anymore. We don't have to worry about a rook being taken.
But that doesn't win material, it doesn't give checks. I guess it gives you a pawn here, but there's like this whole queen and rook protecting it. So again, there must be something better. Because it's a puzzle for a reason, right? It's not a puzzle because you're playing passive moves that help you a little bit. Then play queen of 6. So like that. Or wait, hold on. So rook, pawn, and then probably rook, or the rook could just as easily like move here or move here, and then like then what's?
Or even queen could go like f7. Well, no, they wouldn't because pawn. But they could go elsewhere, defend the bishop, and be attacking.
Yeah, because if this, then I guess the rook could just move out of the way, but that, again, this is a very powerful rook if it's all the way up here, so my inclination is that they would take it. And then if I take, if they take the rook here, then this pawn takes here, and then it's their turn, and I'm most likely threatening something with the queen here, so they could easily just move the rook like right here, because the space is already protected by this pawn. So they would just move the rook here, and then my queen can't move here, my queen can't move here, and it actually can't move to any of these squares then, so it would just be stuck. It could move here, I guess, but then why not just do this from the beginning? Or no, because this bishop, or sorry, then this guy would be trapped. And push pawn.
But
the queen's covering these squares.
Well, no, because if the queen were to take, then rook takes bishop. Because yeah, then it.
So wait, hold on. So you whoops, you, and then whoops. So after pawn takes, rook moves, pawn pushes forward. But again, like the queen's covering these squares. What was that you were suggesting earlier? Do you remember?
No, wait, I'm reading. Pawn f4 doesn't put any pressure on the bishop, though.
I mean, it threatens this, I guess.
It threatens. Yeah, I was reading what someone was posting in chat.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, so
Anyways.
this, and then this is stuck, so then, yeah, this moves back, this moves up another one. But then, like,
Yeah,
what would
by the
black do in
time
the
you do that-
meantime?
Yeah, by that time they can already move a rook in position.
Yeah, like here. Queen e5. Queen e5 is protected by this guy.
Yeah, pawn take or rook take, and it's just winning material.
Okay, so if this, then... yeah, then
That
just
doesn't
this,
feel
and then
right.
this would
Yeah.
just take this.
Yeah, that's not right. I do think it is push rook e6. I do think, yeah, so you do that, then rook takes, pawn takes.
Puzzles only? Yeah, these are puzzles only chess. Queen f5, right here?
What? Queen
Well,
can't
how?
go there.
Well, how?
They meant queen f6.
Queen f6.
That is something
yeah,
we
this
were
is
thinking about earlier.
But then you remove, yeah, you remove the defender of this rook, right?
Yeah, and then they just take the rook, and that becomes a problem.
So that's why we're like, we probably have to move this
Yeah.
rook around.
Person in chat, if we move queen
Or just
to f6, yeah, we lose rook defend.
rook
Anyways,
e6. Okay, so if it's rook e6, then
yeah, rook
rook
take, pawn
takes.
take.
I mean, of course, rook doesn't have to take. So after, but then I guess if rook doesn't take, then they're just allowing all of my pieces to swarm here, right? So most likely they will just take. So then pawn takes, and then
well, also if they don't take, then your rook takes bishop, and that becomes a massive problem for them.
Exactly. So they take this, and then I guess that black will most likely play this to cut off all of the squares of the queen, because the queen wouldn't be able to move anywhere here. I guess it doesn't have to. That might not be the best move for black at that point.
Or there's something else we're missing there. No, if they did do that, you then push pawn to threaten rook. They would have to take with queen, in which case you take bishop with rook.
No, this rook would be taken.
No, other rook. You take bishop with the other rook.
Like this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay, so... Nope.
Okay. Back to the drawing board. I mean, like, that logic didn't seem like... I didn't see any flaws with it, but sure. If there's a better move.
Looks good though. It did look good. It might have been too good to be true. Okay, wait, but I want to know, like, why is that bad?
Okay, so then what's the proper, like, what do they want us to do? Is it that queen to f5?
Is it just to take the rook?
Okay.
I mean, we already got the puzzle wrong, so...
Yeah.
Read my previous comment. What? Have you decided on certain puzzles like checkmate or these are I went here to puzzles and I clicked puzzles on leechess.org.
Yeah, some of these puzzles are checkmate, some of them are just win material.
It's just a mixture of everything.
Yes, some of them are get better position, stop checkmate. We've seen one or two of those.
What?
That's impossible. What? Yeah, it does free our queen to do stuff, like, because now we can actually go to f6.
Yeah. That's it?
Okay.
What does the engine say after
this? What does
this?
the rest of the game... Engine says... Okay. And then what? That is... Oh, I see.
I mean, that is +9. Ah. Ah. Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
that is...
Because now you're tangling them up.
Yeah,
Cause
they have to...
Right, because both of your powerful pieces are now here.
Yeah, you just trap everything back there and they can't do anything. Alright.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Best move for
puzzle.
black. I can take this pawn! Yippee! I can also...
I don't like the queen that is back here.
No. The king's just having an affair. No worries. Nothing out of the ordinary for a king, I would say.
Yeah, most kings have many affairs. Okay.
I mean, there's a check here and a check here. But then what? Because if check here, then king would be forced to move to this square, which is interesting, right? But then like now what?
It might also not be.
Actually, so this, I guess.
Here's what I'm thinking. I was also leaning towards moving our bishop to b5, b6. Sorry.
Yeah, that attacks this. But then, like, then the queen could move anywhere.
Yeah, but then we also open up our queen to go up to the back rank and start messing with them.
Yeah, but then I think the king will just start, like, marching down the board towards the center.
Well, no, he can't go there because our bishop is still on the diagonal.
Yeah, but then, like, you know, it's just like a goose chase, I guess. You'll just kind of zigzag around.
But from there, you then move your queen to e3 when they move forward. So you're defended by the bishop.
A queen... I see. So you move the queen down here.
Yeah. Well, not e3. So
you're
not
protected
by
here.
bishop. Yeah.
But then knights.
Oh wait, yeah.
So.
Okay, not the knight. Not the knight.
Not the knight.
I do feel that bishop move is a good idea, though. We force the queen to go do something else.
If you do this, then probably this.
Yes, but we also open up our queen to go do stuff.
So king would have to move, like, here or something. But then if that's... Then the knight will just jump in to give a check. So then if the king moves here, then this is checkmate. Because the bishop is over here, so that would be checkmate. So that's probably not it.
Let's not do that.
So yeah, if bishop here, then queen here. And then if king here, then knight comes in. And yeah, that's basically checkmate.
Yeah, that's checkmate.
And then if this, then back here, and then this would be checkmate. because the bishop
Okay,
would be right here, not protecting these squares anymore. So that's checkmate.
Okay, so let's go back to queen b5 like you were saying.
Queen b5.
Or
King e1.
okay, so then yeah. And then what?
Yeah, because and then bishop check.
Queen b4.
Like here, but wait,
no,
yeah.
I was saying queen b4 because then you also threaten knight.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But then.
No.
Maybe yeah.
You did.
Or but then
A4
like why not to like either of these squares, right?
Well, no, because then you'd forking the knight and the queen. Well, the knight and the king. So if
wait, like
not
here?
There.
Oh, like
no. So queen b5.
Yeah, queen.
Then third king goes to e1, right? And then you'd move up, right?
Yeah,
so
to
you're
here.
d4, and then you're forking the knight and the king.
And
then king moves, and you take knight.
Okay.
And then you're also no longer at threat of checkmate, and you have a strong position.
Okay. So yeah, that does make sense. You're right. So if this, then yeah, so the king would have to move to the square. I'm just checking if there's anything else because technically the bishop can move here to give another check, but like there's not. It's not like there's like a checkmating pattern by doing that. It's not like a ladder mate. What do you want to do in this position? Like, what does puzzle want to teach you? I have no idea because Lichess puzzles are randomly generated. But usually they're about winning material.
Randomly generated, randomly pulled from an existing game.
Oh yeah, but like there are bajillions because you know, whatever. Same difference, yeah. So let's play this out. Check. Whoa,
okay.
queen.
That's the entire puzzle. All right.
I see, because you give up the queen here for a queen trade, but most likely, no, it wants you to move
offering
here.
A queen trade is an interesting option.
It wants this.
I guess having that knight there is actually really good.
Wait. Engine says, then move here, and then move back, and then. And then you take the knights?
Oh, okay.
What in tarnation is going on?
That is... Oh, that's evil. Ah. Yeah,
bro, what? What? This is a draw, huh? Wait, hold on, let's let it think for a little longer. Or it's in check. What? Why do you want to do something different all of a sudden? What?
Because the way the engine works is it's going through, it evaluates the move, and it's like, wait, I found a better one, let's do that.
Alright, you know what? Whatever, man.
And like, as it goes through and progressively evaluates more positions, it sees that...
No need to make sense of engine moves. Yeah, but you know, apparently the engine move wasn't to take the knight after that, but like, of course the engine isn't always right. And by the way, the engine, I had it by looking at the first engine moves. That's basically looking at like the engine's like intrusive thoughts. Basically there's check here. That's one thing, and they can't block with anything. Actually, if I do that, there would be force move over here. But then then what? They also have these guys, which isn't so epic. Not cool.
Well, yeah, but you also have two rows. So I don't really see those pawns as the problem. And they do have one rook to help. But still, I mean, we also have a pawn on the far right, but that's so far away, it's not working. What else?
Because this forces the king into the corner, which is good. Taking the pawn after queen g5. What?
Is it then bishop e5 to threaten the pawn?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but the pawn just blocks. Their pawn blocks. Well, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
mate and queen. Yeah. So you move back. You move here.
Yeah, and then you're threatening the pawn with checkmate. But then what would?
I mean,
They don't have
black
anything
would
to
probably
block it,
move.
do they?
They would move the rook here, I think, to threaten the queen, and then we don't have any more checks. So this I mean, queen g4, pawn takes f3.
What?
Like queen g5, yeah. So what? And then that, and then I guess that threatens the queen. That is true. They could just, but then this queen is just free to move now.
That doesn't feel right though, because like we're already putting a lot of pressure on the king.
Okay, wait, hold on. So you, and then if pawn takes, queen could just like ignore that and move like right here, for example. And then like what's our attack now, I guess? You could move this here. And mate to b7. Oh yeah, that is true, because then the queen would have to take this, because then it's threatening checkmate. That is right. Man, I need to work on my board vision. Yeah, that makes sense.
Seems right, yeah.
Doink. And then, yeah. And then you just take this. Okay?
Yeah.
Nice, got it. Okay. I'm thinking this. So then the king is forced to move over here.
Why not just move? Well, I guess it's the.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, but
then
the king goes off left, which is actually worse because then it can just retreat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This.
Nothing we can do.
And then you move here, and then then the bishop moves back, and that's not checkmate.
No,
but it's threatening checkmate because then queen just moves back up here.
Yes. Well.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Sure,
probably.
To defend. Or is it trying to escort the pawn?
Yeah, you could just do this here, but something also tells me that you could do this, because these two pawns are definitely gonna win out this guy, right?
There's no reason to defend that pawn.
Yeah, that's what I'm. This pawn is
not getting anywhere.
This pawn is useless, but it is worth it to move the king up. So then the king cannot move like this way, right?
Yeah.
If this, then like.
The king can't interfere.
Yeah. But then if this, I guess you just take and have this. But then like this pawn will just move down. It's probably that you have to defend this, and then you focus on this.
Right. And then then we focus right.
Mm-hmm. So king moves here. Hey, what? What's up? And then
we go G6. But no, then king comes down.
Yeah, but then the king's like moving away from all these guys, right?
Yeah.
But like that doesn't do anything. I feel like
or is it?
I feel like it's
C5.
King's.
Well, no, because if you push that, well, no, you could take it in time.
Because if you, yeah, because then takes and you could just move
time before they promote,
or move here, but then you like lose control of this guy, which you've moved for.
Well, yeah, but you would end up promoting.
Yeah. So like this, and then like this or this.
Yeah.
And then this guy just moves to victory.
Yeah. Yeah, so you push b5.
Yeah. And
Yep,
then
they take. And
up or
then
down? Probably up, because that like threatens it directly, right? No. Why not? Do you just push it? Ah. Why not attack this directly?
Well, because there's no reason to right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have the option in the future to take it, but you can just push the pawn now.
I see. So this is like more aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And
Got it.
you don't have to worry about other things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Move for white. Okay, so let's see.
There are two bishops here.
Yeah. That knight is undefended.
Yeah, but the queen is being threatened. No.
Oh no, our queen is also
Could take
hanging.
this guy. You and your queen.
Do a queen trade.
But there must be something else, like... Or I could just trade the queen for a bishop. Very good trade in my eyes. Oh wait, no, wait. If this, then you, then this, then this? No, but then
What's
the
preventing them from taking
king
the
just moves
bishop
back.
immediately?
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about you, even though you're so in the way.
Well, and also the pawn already took it.
Yeah, pawn doesn't have to take. You're right. I could just take the queen, and then if you take, well, then what? And then you just take the 3 knights?
No. If you do queen takes, then they do bishop takes, and you go rook h4.
Like that?
Yes, I think.
Yeah, and then this is checkmate. Okay. Or, yeah. Right, because if you take this, then the bishop moves back to cut you off, though. That is...
Yeah, but then we can move our bishop in to capture...
Wait, hold on.
Well,
so let's just think about this. Yeah, so
diagonal.
yeah, because you, and then bishop just drops back.
Yeah, then bishop goes back.
So it probably just is to take the knight.
Probably.
I don't like that this bishop is just sitting here, though, but it's better than a queen, I guess.
Okay, just to make sure we're not going stupid, do queen take.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then if we were to do this, then this would just block, right? So we could just take the knight immediately. I don't see anything better than that. I'm going for it. Yay.
Nice.
The king is suffocated. There it is. It's kind of stuck, but I think this is still better. Okay. Is it like something like that?
I wouldn't be surprised.
And then like to which of these? Probably this square, right? So then if the king probably won't move back here, the king would try to escape by moving over here. So then you just drop in here, and that's not checkmate because of this, but you could just move the king down, I think, right? So then the rook could always just take this because I moved the king away. Or then I would just take it back. No, because the rook would be down here. So it probably has to do with something dropping the rook back here. I don't see what else you could do. Right? It's gotta be something like this. Because then the king would try to move down, and then you would move down. By moving down, you lose control of this pawn, though. But we don't want the king to escape. So by doing that, he might move back down here. And then, like, then what? And plus, this is all. No, that's not possible. This pawn doesn't capture this way. It captures this way. It's gotta be something like this, or it could just be like. No. Well. Also, no. Kind of outlandish with these puzzles, is it now?
Well, these puzzles are also taking from
existing games. They were taken from real games. And it's a blitz game. Fun. Gonna take the pawn of king a4, c4. And then just go back. So like, if I drop the rook back here,
they come down.
They go down, and then, or the rook doesn't have to go all the way down. It could move like down here.
Yeah. So if you go down, they go down.
And then
we go down.
I mean, like this pawn could be taken, but like. I don't see why that's a problem. Because the king would be blocking these squares.
Why not just go all the way down?
Yeah,
anyway?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Go all the way down.
They go down.
Yeah, and then you go down.
No. Then rook goes over.
Rook goes over, but then king moves here.
Come down.
So that's why I feel like king has to move here to block this square.
So then we go down.
And then.
Yeah, but then you're threatening checkmate, even if they take the pawn.
You take.
Yeah,
and that would be.
If they take the pawn, that's checkmate.
Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, I mean, I know. I'm just like making sure. Yeah, go down. You go down, but then like they could just move down again, which is kind of what I was thinking would happen. Because if they move, they could just move down again, to prevent check, and then this square would be covered.
Okay, so then you give a check on g2.
Yeah, give a check here, right? And then king would probably not move back up, right? So he would move back down, and then king goes or king goes even further down. And then.
No, it'd be.
Because of this and this and this, and then this, and then even if you move down here, they could not that, or Wait, am I losing my mind here? Wait, no. If you move down here, and king moves
Yeah, then
down,
they go down.
and you
and
move
then we
down.
go down. Yeah, and then we go rook over, and that's just mate.
No, because it's black's turn now.
Oh wait, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's black's turn now, so black wouldn't move back up. Black
Wait,
would just
no.
move back.
Okay, so
Black back down, and then the rook can't deliver this check anymore.
okay, so then king goes down again.
Yeah, king goes down again.
Then their king goes up.
Yeah,
Now we're one step behind them.
King would have to move back up. So king would be right here.
But then the kings would just be in a cycle.
No, but then if the king is back there.
Yeah, but our
yeah, but then the square would be free because the king would be down here.
Then they could run, yeah.
But then
So
yeah, you could just take this
we're one
pawn by
step
moving
off.
the rook over there. But then they take this because now it's just
Yeah. So I guess it is. Go to move the rook down. Just
it must be rook down, right? And then it must be king
but
down.
Then king down.
Or
So we're threatening
this. I just
actually
really wanted to
better.
pursue this because I wanted to see if there was a checkmate, but I guess there isn't.
There would be a checkmate there if our moves were like if the rook was already in that position and we didn't have to move it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we take pawn.
Yeah, I just really wanted there to be a checkmate, but there wasn't. Sad.
There is a checkmate with just a rook and a king.
Yeah, there is, but you know. Okay. Where's that?
For white. That's probably what it is. There's not much better moves we can do.
You know, you say that. Or maybe it's
there's well, yeah, but then king takes. But yeah, then you move queen g2, and there's not a lot of places that king can go.
and queen f4. Wait, so you want
What?
yeah? There's
What?
also this. There are these two checks, right? So if that, then
They're
not
playing
there.
king e5. So
Then
up.
yeah, king would have to move upwards, and then is it?
The queen f. What? What do you mean queen f? There's no. Wait, no.
Oh yeah, and then like this, right? And then that's dovetail
Sorry,
mates.
I was thinking f.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I remember this pattern. Okay.
For black, we need to push the pawn.
I could just take this.
Right now, but... Yeah, but they win. Actually, wait.
If I take this, king obviously has to take, and then push, 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 push. I win.
Well, yeah, but they still get to promote.
No, because
Before...
this. Because if this is a queen, then that covers this whole diagonal.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
you probably just take the queen here, right? And then
Yeah.
go.
Okay. I was gonna say, does Lichess really make you push the pawn?
Chess.com would make you push the pawn all the way.
You're right, it would. Puzzles are so long.
But Lee Chess only does like 3-4 moves at most.
I think the most we've seen is like 5. Maybe 6.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
those are mostly
immediately
on,
there's a check
material
here.
Puzzles.
But the bishop's covering that. So, like... Also this guy here, you could Alright. Okay. No, because the queen's immediately under attack. Because of... Do you have to move the queen out of the way, or probably not threaten the queen in any meaningful way? It might...
Pawn takes pawn right there, because then you start defending your queen.
Wait, pawn takes like this?
Yeah.
But then they just take... Nothing's threatening this guy right now. So, and...
Yeah.
The knight can give a check, but I don't really see that what that... Yeah, I don't see what that does. That at least blocks us.
Yeah, but the bishop takes.
Take the rook. Yeah, because like if this, then this is pinned, right?
That
so
is something I was thinking. Yeah. Well, that's not pinned.
Well, yeah, but it could just take this again, and then you just take the bishop. Yeah, because of this, then you can't take this. You'd have to take this. And then you just take this guy, and then that's it.
Or you instead of taking the bishop, you take the pawn and threaten checkmate.
Like this?
Oh, no, not checkmate. Sorry, no, because they still have that rook over there. It'd be...
Because I do see the reason behind this, right? So then the rook, there would be a white rook here and no rook here, and then I mean, again, that's just the free bishop at that point, right? I'm just checking to see if there's anything else, because sometimes there's something. Just go for it. Yeah, and then you so just take the bishop.
Pawn takes pawn or pawn takes bishop. I think it's pawn takes bishop.
Yeah, that's a free bishop.
Yeah.
Yippee! Hey, hey!
That at once.
Hey!
Stop! You have violated the law.
I feel like you just have to take the knight here. But with what? You take with this, pawn takes, and then I guess the queen can just move out of the way? Or something like that, or not there, like here and then this. But...
Wait. Queen takes h6 is... Yeah. Queen take h6.
Oh yeah, you're right, because of this.
That pawn is pinned.
Yeah, so you have to take that, and then you have to move here. And then king would drop back.
And then, yeah,
and then you take this.
There. Yeah.
Okay.
That seems good.
Kabame. And then kabame.
Oh, that's just the puzzle. Excellent.
Yeah, and then you take.
Yeah, then the king has to go side. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Goody gumdrops. Could give a check here. Could give a check here. I could also give a check here. Lots of checks. Something tells me this guy, because you guys are defending these squares, right? And then, wait, is that just it? The king can't move here either. Oh wait, no, because king can move down here. So, and then
What if it's push pawn?
If we push the pawn, then king
Well, no, it's
takes,
defended
right?
by bishop.
Oh, you're right, it is. So if we push the pawn, then yeah, then the king would have
Then
to
king
escape to
goes
here, and then
And then you can do that.
this. Yeah, and then
And then that's mate. Well, no, they
yeah,
block with rook first, but
yeah, and they block with rook, and then you just
yeah, but
take
then
with
you
bishop
take with
here,
pawn.
or no, you take with bishop, and then queen would cover this square, pawn would cover these
Alright.
two squares,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, so it's push pawn.
But then what's stopping the king from moving here? I guess then you just win the rook though, so that's still winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
And bishop.
bishop. Okay. Yeah, and then it wants to move the rook here. Oh, then it says take with pawn. Okay. Oh,
To block, and then you take with pawn.
okay, and then you just find a way to get this guy up here. Yay! Yippee.
Yeah.
My hands are so cold.
You know, put on epic gamer glove.
Epic gamer gloves.
You know, like
That's like my first reactions to do something like that.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So my first reaction is to do something like this. I guess it, because if they take back, then you can just pin it here. I'm just gonna look to see if there's something better, but I don't know what that would be. The knight can't really move anywhere. The bishop can't do much. Is that just it? And then I just take it? Or is there more? Or I could do that, actually. What rating are these puzzles according to Lichess? 1985. But again, like I said, Lichess ratings are kind of dubious, so take that with a grain of salt. Because of that, the knight can't move back here because it'll just be taken, or be taken by this guy. So I think it's rook here. Okay. And then do I just take this guy? Yeah. Cool. Hey! You're getting real close there, partner. Best move for black. Could do that. Is there anything else? I don't see why not this. It doesn't look like there's any way the knight could move after that to protect the bishop. No. So then it would probably move here or something. Maybe here. It's gotta be this, right? I'm just very cautious because it is just a puzzle, so I'm given time to think about every case, even if it's bad. You there, and then because I'm thinking like if I were to take this, where would the knight be in order to like get a tempo? Such an open puzzle. I hate these kind. This immediately sticks out to me though. It's a king fork. It's a kingly fork made of royal gold and silver, adorned with rubies, and very disgusting. It's gotta be this. Oh, I knew it. And then you just take this. Okay. And then what in tarnation is what? Okay. Oh no. These guys are horsing around. Okay. Um, I'm not sure. Like, nothing jumps out at me here that I should do. Or I could do this and then this, but they don't have to do that. Well, yeah, because then this would be pinned here. So then they would have to take, and then I could just do this. I don't see why not. Okay. There's or maybe this first, and then if this, then this. And then king is forced to move here, so then queen just takes. Hey, okay, that one was pretty easy. If I take this, knight takes rook here is checkmate. Okay. Okay, there's immediately a free rook here, but that doesn't do much. It just gives you a rook. I don't know. Again, nothing jumps out at me here. Oh wait, no, I can't take this rook, sorry, because of this pawn. I could do like this, so then it attacks the queen, right? And then I can take this, but pawn out the way, yeah. So then, if queen moves here, then this guy is under attack. So I guess just take the bishop, and then queen probably takes, and then you take this. Is that it? Yeah, and then you take this, and then you take this. Okay, there's a lot of pieces here that I could use. Immediately I could do like this. And then if king takes, then... Oh wait, no, this knight is being annoying here because I can't... I mean, I guess I could move it down here. So if you... And king will just move out here. King moves out there, then this is checkmate. So is that it? And the knight could also block, but that would come with check. Or wait, but there's also a rook here and a... So wait, hold on. So if I do this, king takes, queen moves, but then the rook could just jump in here. Oh no, but that's protected by the bishop. That's right. So that means the queen can't move over here because that would just be losing the queen. So it... No. Dang it. What did I miss? You here. If this could give it the knight here. But then Oh, is it like queen here or something? Or no, because then the king would have to move out the way. Is that
I,
not it?
I think it is queen a1 first.
Queen a1 first. Ah, okay.
Yep.
Hmm.
Excuse me. Then
And then you. No, yeah, no. And then you just take this. And then after that, it takes. And then. And what's. And then. Hard to take this. I could just take with you. Probably not going to take with king because of this. So they could just take with rook. And then after they take with rook, then
you push bishop to check king. No, that doesn't
yeah,
feel right.
because then
The
if
king
that
just goes to a8.
king just runs away, or
Yeah,
if king,
or runs away.
or but if king, but then king, if king moves here, then you have this, which is probably good. Maybe. Wait, queen, you're just winning, no more puzzle.
Yeah, but the rook is, well, if the rook, yeah, that's fine.
That's the end of the puzzle. Oh my goodness.
God damn it.
But I feel I always like think too far ahead. Okay. Look, free rook. It's so free. Well, I guess if you do that, then you could do this. Then what? You win the bishop, I guess. But then this, right? That doesn't work. Because if you take this guy, then you take, and then every move after that has to be like check, right? So even if you like move the rook here or something.
Yeah, it would have to be checked because otherwise you open yourself up to a lot of issues.
Yeah, because then there would be a rook and a queen here, and that would be checkmate. So you could attack both rooks by moving down here, right? But then why not just take this rook first? We should be winning a bishop here. That's what I'm hoping. Because I can't do this, because this. Or this. So if I take this guy immediately, then you move down here. And then even if I moved you up here and the king moved out of the way, this is checkmates because there's a rook and a queen here, and this rook would be gone. Looking at his queen takes pawn. Like this. But why not then this? Or, I mean, you could just do that. Queen takes pawn. That, but like, you're not gonna. But then what? Then what does white do? Or white doesn't have to take this. White could just give a check here. And then I have to give up this, but then this. And then I move this down here. I guess.
It looks right.
Yeah, so just to recap, if this,
The rook
then
down.
then rook down, and
Then our
then
rook
take
takes.
take
Take, and
with
then our rook
check,
goes down.
and then our rook goes down, and then there's probably a trade that happens here.
No, they would probably.
Yeah, they could just
Take,
drop the
then we
rook
take.
back, but I feel like they would just take.
Yeah, so I think it is take pawn. You're threatening the bishop, and if they do move down, then you give a check followed by another check that ends up being not good for them.
Nope, it's not that.
Is it
Okay.
rook d1?
Like this?
Yeah.
But then why not this?
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, but then your king. Yeah, but that leads to checkmate.
Yeah, even if my king moves here or here, that's checkmate, right? So.
Okay, so then is it.
Take the rook. That's what we thought last time.
I think that. Yeah, yeah.
I was just worried
So
that
then,
if
does
the
it push queen? Yeah.
if this, but then like now what?
Drop queen. No, drop queen back to
Yeah.
d6. Yep.
Okay. I didn't see that last time when I was doing this. Okay. We have that.
That's pretty good. Yeah, forking the pieces like that.
And then if you do this and king drops
so
back,
if that happens,
queen moves here. And then what can black do to stop this? Nothing? I'm guessing. What would black do in the meantime? Like
bring up a rook.
Like that.
Do some, or
then
the
like,
other rook.
Or bring up the other rook. That's true.
Yeah. They probably do that. That's pretty bad for you.
Okay, wait, hold on. So if I give this check here, I move back. If I were to move the queen over here, and then
what would they do?
They might bring a rook over.
No, that wouldn't be check if you did that, because they would already be in the corner.
Oh yeah, if okay, so if I do this, even if they move a rook up here, this is still check. But then that's not checkmate because they could just move the rook back. But then I take, and I guess I would be winning a rook, and the queen is right here, and also this guy is under attack. But then, like, why not just take the rook immediately, you know? Or no, not take the. Sorry, no.
The king trap.
No, because there is a rook here. Right, so it has to be this.
Yeah, so push queen.
And then.
Yep. And then.
I think you put the queen right there.
That feels right.
Yeah, okay.
And of course, that's the end of the puzzle. Okay.
I see. I could do that, and then that. If they were to block with the rook,
then we bring
and then
queen up. You go
to where? Here?
Oh wait, yeah, I forgot about the rook.
And then I guess you plan to do that afterwards, but then like this square is free because you move the queen out. Okay, wait, hold on. So if I were to take this, that comes with check, and then the king is forced to move up here. Or no, sorry. You move down here, and then And after that, the king can move right here. And then after that, you just take the rook.
Wait. What if another option is push pawn? Yeah, but there's en passant there. Oh.
I think it's this,
no,
right? So you move here,
Okay.
and then they block here, right? And then
yeah, and then
the king has to, or I guess the king doesn't have to do anything.
The king doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, the king doesn't have to do anything.
What I'm thinking is, pawn to g5. They can't take with their pawn.
No. They can't do it en passant. Sad.
Yeah, their pawns.
This just feels like really. This just feels better.
Oh wait, I was looking at the wrongs. Of course it was. Yeah, that works. Yeah, but then what? Then what? That's missing something. It's not complete.
Okay, wait. No, if you drop the queen back here, then.
Wait, is it move rook over to threaten the queen? After you do that?
I think this, if I move the queen up here, this threatens checkmate. Yeah, that threatens checkmate. Because of this, because the rook would be on this square, so the king can't move here. And then there's nothing to defend against checkmate, like you could move you here or something.
Yeah, they can't do anything there. Okay.
Right, yeah, and then queen drops back. No.
Nope. Oh yeah, because then they'd end up blocking with the rook.
You're right.
Is it threaten queen with rook?
No.
Nope, I figured.
Pawn takes? Oh yeah, you're right. And then...
Yep.
Aha.
Then rook take.
And then...
Yep.
Probably you take this, yeah, you take that.
Yep. Excellent.
I see. I didn't see that pawn takes.
I was right about the pawn takes, just not the west.
Just not soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't
I was doing it too soon. I was saying doing it open. Anyways, moving on. Move for white.
If I take this and the king is like stuck, right?
Yeah, and then you could also push pawns to cause a problem.
Yeah, so if I did this,
after you do that,
then the king.
Actually, wait, no.
King won't move down here. No, wait, because this would be free.
If king moves down there, they start. They probably wouldn't, but they would start risking checkmate because they run into that same issue.
Because if king up and king down, even if this, then this, and then this pawn is. It's not weak because you could drop this the guy back.
Is it push pawn now? That way king can't go down to begin with?
Maybe. So yeah, so if this, then obviously not this. So the rook, could the rook like drop in here and do something?
Probably.
I don't know if it could do it in time though. So
wait, no. You know what we're forgetting about?
What's
that
up?
Pawn they have.
Yeah, this guy. Well,
that is a threat. Even if they promote it to something, it's just to take the pawn and mess everything up.
So if this. If they promote.
Okay, so then, if they promote to like a queen or
definitely bishop. A queen,
heck, if they even promoted to a knight, that could cause some issues.
Yeah, because check, right?
And then king would be forced to retreat, and they just take a pawn.
So if that, I'm like thinking maybe even this. Because if takes and takes, these are all checks. And then the king will be in check because of this pawn, so it'll move down. If it moves down, then this is checkmate. So then is promotion not a problem?
I guess it isn't.
I mean, of course they don't have to promote, but...
No, they don't have to.
because obviously black will play the best move in this puzzle, so it could do something completely different. But if it were to promote, right, then you just give a check here, and then they won't move down. The king won't move down here because that's checkmate. So takes, and then takes again. That's with check. And then king will have to move down here because these squares are covered, and then this will be checkmate.
Yeah,
right?
That looks good.
But then, of course, this guy doesn't have to promote. What if he, like, move the rook down here or something?
What if he brings rook back and
But then this is still check, so it comes with tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even if this,
Yep.
still this, still this, still this. Okay.
Excellent.
What you doing there? He's looking eyes as he dies in front of her. Sad.
The queen's just watching.
Locking eyes.
Stabbed to death.
No. Best move for black. Okay, there's a check here. That doesn't do much.
That's not a good check.
Is this smothered mates? Is this?
Is it?
Is it that?
It is.
No.
Nope.
Sad. Oh wait, yeah, because Kim takes. No, wait, no. Dang it. I got too zealous. I was so sad. No. I really wanted that to be it.
Smothered me is so fun when
Oh wait,
happens.
it's this. Nope, it's not that.
Nope.
Nope. Wait. Wait.
No, you just move queen up.
Yeah, you just did. Never mind. Dang it! I so wanted it to be the night thing. I so wanted it to be this, but yeah, this.
Smothered mate is so
Sad.
fun.
Dang it! Sad.
Sad.
I so wanted it to be that. Okay.
Oh well.
Immediately there's this, which might be fun.
That's actually very good because then you take queen after.
Yeah, and then if king over this, and then that's
just a lot of problems for them all at once.
Yeah, that would just be winning the queen. I can't see if there's like a checkmating pattern or like sacking the bishop or anything, right? So,
I don't think there is.
Even if like maybe this and then this is checkmate actually. So maybe not like doing this. If I do this and this square is covered, king has to move over here. This is checkmate because these guys are protecting each other. Right? I don't see how you could defend against that.
Wait, so if they go there.
So if this, right? King has to move. Right?
Yeah, king has to go there.
This square is covered, so then queen just moves up here and that's checkmate.
That feels too simple. What are we missing?
I don't see, because every move comes with check then, right? So...
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's checkmate.
What was this puzzle rated? That was way too easy.
That was rated 1969.
What the heck? That was really easy for almost a 2000.
Boo! Bad puzzle, not hard enough.
Try harder, fool.
Try harder, lichess. I could do a check here. And then if I do that, then you move up here. And then nothing. And then yeah, I guess pawn takes, but there's gotta be something. There's gotta be something better. Maybe, perhaps.
No, that feels right, because then you just pawn push and they can't
stop.
Because your pawn's protected the rest of the way.
Yeah, because then this guy... Well, but then you could just...
Well, no.
Actually, wait, hold on. So this...
That's too slow.
You go up here, right?
Yep.
And then takes... And then even if rook here... Yeah, and then this is protected. Yeah, this is protected by the...
Yeah, so let's move rook down.
Yeah, and then take.
Pawn take. Yep.
What?
What?
What is that?
They're gonna give a check. They're gonna give a check.
Yeah, that's means we have to give a check.
Yes, yeah, so we just check now with the pawn. Yeah.
What?
What?
Oh, is it?
You know.
No, yeah, whatever.
we don't question what the engine says.
An engine note. All hail the holy engines that know all about chess, except for when they don't. Okay.
I don't like it. I guess we do have 2 rooks on. So if you do that, then what? Pawn take, rook takes.
If
Rook
pawn takes, if pawn
queen
takes, then that just
queen
kind of.
take, rook take.
If pawn takes, then like, then I mean, I guess you could take with rook, but if you take with rook,
no, because if you take with rook, you're then. So if you do bishop take, pawn take, right? And then you do rook take, they can't. I guess they could take with so they take with rook.
Yeah.
You then do.
And then. Probably queen takes to force this
Queen
trade.
Takes.
But then it's equal.
Yeah, and I feel they have a better position. Although their rook is kind of stuck. And they don't have as many pawns.
Okay, so to recap, you, and then rook, rook, and then either of these guys. If it's you, if I move the rook here, then the queen. I guess the king could just move out of the way to like here. So probably takes with queen. If I take with queen, and the queen is stuck here, basically has to take this. I mean, it doesn't have to. It could just sit there, I guess. I mean, that would be forcing them to take the queen at some point, because if you move the queen to like the square or keep it here, then the queen will have to take. And then you take back with the rook, and then both of you have rooks, and that's it. Or maybe is there something in the middle of this trade that we're missing? Because that's also possible. Or if I do this,
between bishop takes and rook takes versus rook and then bishop.
Wait, if you take with this, then this, then this,
and then rook,
and then this,
bishop.
and then this.
Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, do that. Because then you're keeping pressure on. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, then you're just keeping pressure. Yep.
Okay, there's a check here. It's protected by this guy, so king would have to drop here, and then that's it. So maybe not that. Or if it... no. If I move you here, then I guess I could do... because even if I move here, they just take. But then queen could move here because there's no chance of this happening, because the rook will be blocking that spot. So if I move the queen there, then rook might drop back, I guess. And if rook drops back, then what? I mean, I guess you just will have won a rook, so you could drop back, right? Or not won a rook, sorry. You want to
Okay, so bishop h2, king h1,
Bishop goes, you go, and then if I give a check here.
and then rook goes. Yeah, bishop. Oh no, sorry, knight goes there. Words.
And then if
rook
you
takes,
take.
then push queen.
If you push the queen, then the rook can just drop back. And then, like, then what? You don't win anything by doing that. You just give a bunch of checks. So instead, oh, whoops. If this, because you can't push the queen here immediately because of this. So that's why you like need the rook to be here to block it. And then if you push the queen afterwards.
What if you push queen early and then go knight?
Like, okay, so like
So,
this.
Yeah, so you do that,
This.
then king, and then queen.
Queen. And then this. And then this. Is that what you're. Well, if you do this and the knight's giving the check, so they just take the knights.
Yeah, so they take.
And then and then this guy's still protecting this, right?
Yeah, if anything, that's worse off.
Yeah, hold on. But this feels like the right idea though. And if I were to push the queen early, then this, and then if this, they'll just take with the bishop, and then the queen will be forced to drop back because you can't take it. So probably not pushing the queen early. If you do this, then of course king drops back here. Is there anything? It's not like the king doesn't stop protecting anything. Or, yeah, it could be this, this, and this. You're right. Is that it?
Wait, so why don't
no, because then this.
Yeah, then they take.
And the oh wait, and then that, and then the queen checks, and then you take that. Is that winning?
That works. Yeah. I mean, you took a queen.
Yeah, and then there you go. Okay, cool. But continue, thank you. Okay. Like, no, because this knight is protecting this. Because something like this might be a rook and knight check, mates. But even if this and this, you don't have this because of this. If you were to take this and just this.
Is it knight f3 first?
You mean this first?
Yeah. and then you're threatening checkmate. So then what would they do?
Yeah, the king can't move.
Probably
a knight.
Probably.
No, not knight there. No, because they also have a rook. Yeah, I guess there is nothing they could do.
Well, no. So because if you did that, then they'd bring rook over to g4.
To here.
Yes.
Okay.
And that stops checkmate.
Do you win something by being here? Doesn't look like it, because even if you take, they take. And you don't have okay, so if you do a check first, and then obviously they take because they don't have any other moves. And then if this is almost checkmate, but because of this stupid knight, it isn't. And you just lose a rook for nothing. Unless there's something else. Because if king moves back... Where's two, it's symmetrical. What am I missing?
Yeah, so, yeah, but if it goes there, knight takes. If it goes up, king takes. Which is why if you open with knight, they're forced to bring rook over to prevent checkmate.
Uh-huh. And then... No.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so let's see.
I feel like it's right there, but for some reason I just can't see the pattern.
Our rook.
And then if I have to give a check here...
then our rook takes...
And then this.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, and then...
Yep, then take.
No.
What?
You just...
No, surely not.
Is it like... Oh,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then that.
No,
there
no,
you go.
yep, there you go.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that is just the queen.
It is.
But then this. Right? So...
Yeah, that is a problem.
It's very, very juicy, but I can't take it. If I were to sack my queen,
No,
then the queen. Obviously, they can't take with, or they could because of this, and then just this again. I could just take this guy right away, but then they take this. Whoops.
Is it?
You.
Weird.
You.
Why wouldn't they just take with? Oh no, that makes sense because then they're defending the queen. But what about queen f3?
Queen takes f3, yeah, and then... But then just... Oh no, they would take the queen, obviously, right? And then you just take this, and then you're up. Or, no, sorry. No, you take the queen immediately. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Why wouldn't you?
Okay, got it.
Like, why would you ever give them an opportunity to move their queen away?
Maybe I'm just really nice.
Well, something's wrong with you then.
Dang.
There's no niceties in the game of war.
No. What if I sack the rook? That would do anything.
Moving. No, that doesn't feel right though. Moving queen down to c3 is an option to give the check. Though they'd probably move.
Well,
up.
they don't have a lot of space because of this, and so they'd have to move to one of these.
You are kind of threatening a lot.
So if you do any of those, it's on light square, so this guy can't come in and help.
I mean, he can block stuff off. Another thing is, what if you did that bishop to c7?
So this guy
Actually, wait, no. What if you did rook to c7 first to do a check?
And then they
you do bishop, and then you do bishop. And then either they.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying this, and then bishop takes.
And then that, and then bishop takes.
Bishop takes here.
And then they'd either have to run their queen away.
They'd probably move it like right here for this.
Probably. Yeah, so, but if they did that, then let's see, that's there. Yeah, but then you could still drop your queen down, give a check.
Maybe. I like this more though because it gives a check immediately, and then the king only has 2 squares to move to.
And then you're still threatening the pawn.
So of course, the king can't move here because of this.
Yeah.
Wait, well, if that happens, then the king will just move to this square, and then the queen will go here. So that's not it. So if this, whoops, that, then king moves here, and then. Yeah, I don't see what happens after this. Bishop c7 first, take this. Well, if this, then this, and then take
rook
here.
Takes for check.
And then check. And if I just do a trade here, then I have queen in here for these two.
Yeah, but if they don't take.
Okay, wait. So you, and then for example, rook takes, and then if they just drop back, that feels really strange. Then you just do
because then you take with queen, and then you're threatening checkmate.
Yeah, because that would be check, and then
they'd probably.
And if king moves to either of these, then this is checkmate.
It can't go to the left; it has to go to the right.
Well, yeah, but then if the rook is here, then this would just be checkmate. So it's Yeah.
Well, no, by go to the right, I mean like h8. H8 would be its only move it could go to.
Okay, so if this, then
and then
rook takes, and then queen takes.
Yeah, but if they do queen takes, then your queen takes.
Yeah, your queen, and then
that's just losing for them.
And then they have 2 rooks, and I have a queen and a rook, right?
If they don't do queen takes, instead they move their king, you then bring queen over. Excuse me. You then bring.
Yeah, because if this, then
you still
this
do
or something.
that, and then you threaten checkmate.
So, yeah, and then you take with rook to give check.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and here you just take.
Yay.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. There's this, but then this. I have this, but then this. So what's left? If we do I don't. Again, nothing's jumping out at me. If I take this and then you take, and then then I guess you can take that, and then the king will just take back, and then there's nothing after that.
Which would the king take first, bishop or knight? If you were to do that.
Okay, wait. Yeah, wait. So if I were to do that and then this, alright, the knight is always just vulnerable. So even if if I were to do this, then they could just take either.
Yeah.
So that's probably not it. If we no. You just win the queen with the knight takes. You mean like this? And then here you just run away. No. What? Oh, you moved down there. Okay. Got it. Oh, whoops. There are 2 checks here. If I were to move the queen here, for example, then you could move over here and then
I would probably see them blocking with bishop instead of moving.
Yeah, that too. So if I were to do this, or no, because of this, then no. Because I was thinking this, but then like this, so not that. So is it you take this first, and then you
What
do
reason
this?
does that have, though?
Because if you were to take this knight, most likely they'll just take back with the bishop, right? And then you can give a check here, they block, and then you do that.
That doesn't feel right.
I mean, yeah, there's always room for other moves they could play. They could just move the king out of the way, but then you still win the knight. So,
or even move king down instead of going to the side.
Yeah, but again, you win the knight. So if you just to recap, take this. Obviously, they're probably going to take this. So then you give a check here, and any move they do, you just take the knights. There you go.
Alright.
Hello,
Another
knights.
rock.
Get out of here.
Shoo, night. I want it to be daytime.
There's a lot of things that could happen here.
If you take the knight with the queen, you have a discovered attack on their queen.
And then that also threatens checkmate. So
yes, becomes big problem for them.
Yeah, so if this, then they would need to react to this by like pushing a pawn here or something. Or no, probably moving the bishop here. Or I don't know. But it's probably you just take the knight with this.
Block with knight.
Because even if I take this,
they block with knight.
Like this.
Yes.
But yeah, but that's like winning the knight. So.
Everything.
Well,
Well, yeah, but if you do that, then that gives them time to go fix their king issue, and then your pawn is now blocking
that's
the threat on
true,
their
but
queen.
you still wait. No, because if you move this and the queen is right here, then this. So you just take back the knight, I guess. I mean, that's still winning a knight.
And then,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that still works though.
So you just take the knights. Doink. Yeah, sure. And then. Yay. Okay. There's check here. There's check here. Fire, for example, to move it here. And then queen would have to take, but then if this, then this. So not that. Yeah, because if this, and then, I mean, I guess king could just retreat somewhere, like here or here. If the king retreated, then I could just give a check here on this square, but here I guess I could just move the knight away. You don't suck, bro. Keep getting better. You don't have to flatter me, alright? I mean, to be honest, I just do puzzles because I think they're fun. It's like me playing Counter-Strike, even though I absolutely suck at Counter-Strike. I still play it because it's fun, even if I suck a bunch. So, yeah,
that's what. Better than me at Counter-Strike for sure.
Yeah, but that's not saying much, to be honest. So if I were to move you here, if the king was to move here, then this would just be check. The king would just move back, but that doesn't win anything.
What if you did knight f4?
Yeah, check. Like this. Yeah, check.
Yep.
Okay, and then king moves up, or here, but probably not there. Probably up.
They would go up. Yeah.
So if the king moves up, but then because then now your queen's under attack, so and you can't take the rook back.
Yeah. But then you move queen g4.
Like that, and then the king. Then the king has a bunch of like escape routes. I think we should keep the king trapped if we can.
Yeah, but if you do that, then you also threaten checkmate by moving your queen up to g6.
If we put the queen here, for example, because my first thought was to put that here, but that doesn't work. So if I do another check here, then king has to move here or here.
Okay, so
if it moves there, then the rook moves here.
And if it goes up, then you do a knight move.
If it moves there,
then you go knight f6.
Or rook here.
Or that.
So is that it? Because then if I move the rook there, then the queen covers this, and then the knight. Oh, nothing's covering the square. Okay, wait. So you have to move up, and then. Oh no, you can't move up. Sorry, you would have to move here. Oh, if this, then this. So then, I mean, that's not checkmate.
Yeah, but then king goes up.
Rook f6 check first. That's what we were thinking.
That doesn't feel right. No.
If the king moves up here, then what? Do you give another check up here? Then king could just move back.
Yeah, but yeah, then king goes there, and then.
So wait, if I do this instead, like this feels close. This is like my first. This is the first thing I thought of. But then what? King moves to what, h7, and then you could give a check here, but then this. So
Okay, wait. So going
there's
back
like there's a
to
discovered
G4,
check, but then
if you go to
if this is this, even if it's discovered check,
no,
like
no,
where does this guy go?
That's not right, because that's not right. That doesn't feel right.
I mean, it's discovered check, but it's not like I can discover check into like winning the queen or something.
Yeah, and like
So,
after that, like
if it's
the king could go elsewhere, and then it's not much else you can do to.
Okay, so wait, if it's queen up to g4, then king has to move up here, right? I mean, it can move here. Okay, wait, hold on. If I entertain the idea that the king moves over here, and then this, and then that is difference. So after that, the king would have to move back up here. Or sorry. And if that happens, then
And then you just go
move the
queen
G7. Yeah, queen up here. Okay, so there's that, but
yeah, that's it.
But
what
if king moves here,
so if they go up,
king,
then you just go
and then
queen
it's the same
G7
thing.
Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, and then.
No,
you could have just gone queen G7
oh,
immediately.
No, because of this.
No, okay, yeah. Then what is it?
Is it the knight gives check? Because if the knight gives check, then king
comes down.
He has to move down, and then just this. Is that checkmate? No. Oh wait. Oh man. Oh my goodness.
Of course.
Yeah, and then.
Okay, then.
Wait, hold on. I don't want to mess this up. What? Wait. Wait, now what?
Move the rook down.
And then
then
you just take the queen. Okay. I was really hoping there was a checkmate there. There was not. Sad.
There is. It's just more moves in the future.
Best move for white. Look at our horses hanging out here on the edge. Best move for white.
Nothing.
The rook's currently not doing anything. Could give a check with it.
Right, that does feel tempting. It doesn't do anything.
Well, yeah, if the king moves here, then you could just give a check here.
Yeah, but again, that's not doing anything. You're moving the king to a place where it's just harder to keep giving checks. Moving.
Wait.
Knight to
if you,
F5
then you
also feels tempting.
If you, then you. and then this would be checkmate because these squares would be
Okay,
covered.
yeah, but why
So
wouldn't
then
they go
if
to the right?
yeah, or this way, left.
Well, left. Sorry.
So then if this, and then this, because rook is blocking these squares, and then after that, is it? Because I feel like we're onto something if we do that. Is it? Is a rook back? Wait, hold on. I'm having a hard time envisioning this.
Okay, so
If
sorry,
rook
so
moves,
rook there, and then king goes to the left.
king goes to the left, check, move,
Yeah, move rook up.
and then move rook up, and then you just take the rook. Is that it?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that seems to. Yeah. Yep. Move knight.
And then,
yep. Rook up.
hold on, I'm just
And
like
then king
checking if
comes
there's like
down.
checkmate or something,
Wait.
but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. No, king will go f7.
No,
After
this
you move
doesn't
rook.
work.
No.
Cause
King goes f7, not f6.
no, we
So if you move
do we
rook up,
just
king
take?
goes f.
No, it's
Nope,
not rook
okay.
up. Is it knight check? Because then if knight check, then king moves over.
But if you do that, then the king can just run away. What?
Is there a checkmate we're not seeing?
Oh, I bet it is rook takes bishop. Yep. And then you bring in knight to e7.
No, I would have never have seen that. Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Look at the knights horsing around. Look at them go. Oh, look at how many knight moves that was. Oh my goodness.
That is what knights do best.
I would have never seen. What rating was that puzzle? 1963. There's no way I would have seen that. Can't do check there. Could do check here. And then
what are your
move
thoughts
over here,
on
and then you move
if your pawn
here,
pushes that idea?
and then
yes, let's see. That goes there.
and then if you move here, then rook back is checkmate. So if I were to move you here, you need to move here, and then if I give a check here, you need to move back,
right again.
and then here because now the square is blocked by the knights.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, and then knight here.
Knight. Go horsey.
And then this
then
is
rook.
checkmates.
Yep.
Okay.
Excellent.
What in the world?
Okay, move for white.
There's a bishop, but this. That doesn't free up anything fun for our knight. So okay, well let's just if I do this, then I guess you could just take this pawn. Maybe.
Yeah, because then you can take that pawn, then eventually take a7.
Oh yeah, and then this.
Yeah, and then you just win. Yep. Yeah.
And the bishop can't move here. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Bishop screwed then.
So you take that, and then you move here.
And then take with knight.
And then just take this guy.
We don't care about that. We just take pawn. Yeah. Yep. And then from there you move knight away, and then that's just.
Yeah. I mean, this is blocked, but like, this is an endgame, so the king will just make an escape for it.
Yeah.
Go, king, go!
Yeah, you just run your king over.
I can't move this here because of the queen here blocking that. Is it? No. I was hoping if I do this and this and this, but then the king will just take this. So Could move the bishop here, I guess. If I move the bishop there and the or no, because this is immediately threatening this. Okay. So do I if I do that, that's taken by this. Can't move this here. Can't take this. Could move this here. If I move that there, then what? The king can't do anything, I guess. What? They've got to play a move that would do something though. What would they play here? Like queen something? Okay, so if queen moves over to the left.
If you do queen h3, what would they do?
Probably not this.
No, they wouldn't.
Probably
Because then you can do a discovered check with the bishop.
Yeah, or something to that effect. I'm just thinking about what they would. I don't see a way that they could defend against this, but I'm just checking to make sure.
Do something with the queen, maybe. I don't know.
Right, and then
what are...
I mean, I could just take if I do discover check. Yeah, but no, they just take the queen. So I have to take this.
Yeah, and then their queen will take, and then you take queen.
Is there a checkmate here? No, because I have to take the queen.
No, yeah, you have to take the queen. I mean, that's your up material.
Okay. What in the world? I can take you, or take you. Oh, I can't take you because it's pinned.
No, you can't take.
Yeah, so I have to. I would have to take this. This is immediately threatening this guy. So if you do that, then I imagine queen would just drop back, right? So queen would move back to like here or something. So that doesn't. Well then, but then this is pinning it, right? So if I were to do this, queen can move over here instead. This would be check, and that would be checkmate, and they would have to give up stuff. Or they could move a knight. If they move the knight, then you could just take it with the... No, you can't take it with the pawn because the queen would be here. So... maybe you just take with the rook. Pawn takes. I mean, then you would be up a bishop and a knight, I guess, so that would still be winning. So it is probably just to take this. If I take this, their only move is to move it here, because if they move here, it gets pinned. So they have to move it there. If I do that, then I could give a check here. There's a check here. And then after I give a check there, they could move in with the knights. And if they move in with the knights, I can't take with the pawn because the queen would be sacrificed, so I would have to take with the rook. And when I take with the rook, take with pawn, and then just take with queen and you're up. But then you give up a rook for a bishop and a knight. And your queen is right here. That's probably better. That's gotta be better. Right? That's gotta be better. What do you think?
Wait, so what, rook takes?
Yeah, rook takes, queen moves here, and then check. check. And then king can't move, and they're probably just not going to give up a rook, right? So
Yeah.
knight, because it's protected by pawn. And if knight
Yeah.
protected by pawn, like, what do you do after that? You can't take with pawn because this queen is right here, and we'll just take this queen. So, and you can't take with queen because it'll be taken by pawn, so you take with rook. And then after
the
pawn takes rook,
queen
takes, and then you will have given up this bishop for a pawn, a knight, and a bishop. And that's got to be better, right?
Yeah,
that...
and then after that, because you're giving it with check.
And you're giving it with check.
There's something that could be. Yeah, that seems right. Yep. Oh.
And then this.
Yeah, that still seems right.
And then probably you just take the queen, and then you take
probably just do queen trade.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Best move for white. There's this. Wait. If I do that, what's the king gonna do?
What? Yeah. Wait. What?
Yeah. Wait. Is that just it?
What? Is there something we aren't seeing?
Is that just?
Yeah, that's
just mate in one. Well, it was a 1991 puzzle. I don't think so.
It's just giving us.
Hey guys, 2000. Exactly 2000.
2000.
I don't think. I think it's a lie. This has got to be like 2 billion% of what actually is the rating of these puzzles. I don't believe that for a second.
I don't know, because that last one felt like a 1000 elo puzzle, not a almost 2000 one.
Stupid Lichess. Okay, can't take because takes. So instead, I don't have any checks. If I were to no, because then this would be pinned, so I can't move the queen anywhere.
Move on F4 up.
Okay, so this.
Queen. And
then takes.
Pawn take.
And then cool.
And then you take rook.
And then take. Because the pawn would be blocking that. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay, then you take rook.
Yeah, just take the rook because it's not.
Yeah, and then you. Yeah.
And then black plays this.
Yeah, then they do that.
Best move for black.
Get out here, Edson.
That's a check. And if
they take with queen.
Okay.
That's the only thing they could do.
Yeah, but like, now what? Now there's nothing. Okay, if I could do that. So then the queen would move like here maybe. And then because it won't move here because then I'll just take the knight. So if it moves down here,
that's preventing the queen from going right as well.
Yeah.
Could do either one. Although I see it going. No, it'd have to go up top because then otherwise you just take rook and that becomes a problem.
Okay, so it moves up.
Yeah, so it has to go up.
Oh wait, and then you just take. You win the knights, and then you have a bishop, and that's winning.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and then you dismantle the pawns from the back.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yep.
Sure. Do I just take this? I think I just take that because otherwise they take with check. So, boink. And then take. Yay. Okay, I have to go to the bathroom, so you guys just figure this one out. I will be back.
Okay. With things that obviously stand out. I do like night over there. Okay, so there. So then queen comes down. So then then what? There's nothing there. You mean, uh, yeah, that's about what I was thinking as well. Go knight b3. Yeah, and then you just win a queen. Yeah, because if you go there, yeah, queen has nowhere to go. So then, for the sake of winning material, the queen would probably take knight. Yeah, queen would probably take c3 because they know they're going to lose the queen. So might as well mess up enemy position and take a piece while you can. And then,
Okay.
yes. Okay, so we're looking at knight to b3, and then that queen is just completely trapped.
Knight to be. Oh. And then the queen
Yep,
is. Yeah, the
can't
queen
go
can't move
anywhere.
here.
And then knight gets that.
So wait, if. Yeah, then knight gets this, that's right.
Yeah, and then if the puzzle continues after that, I'm thinking queen then takes knight on c3 because that.
Mm-hmm. And
Yep,
then you.
that's exactly what I thought.
Okay.
Takes. Yep. Excellent.
Cool. What's our next one? Ooh. I was really feeling like there's a trap where you sack the queen, but that doesn't look like it's it.
It's close.
So if you do.
Put in.
No,
Yeah,
because
if you do
this
that,
is being blocked.
and then, yeah, too many things on it.
I could do this, right? If that.
Yeah, but then queen takes.
Oh yeah, you're right. So maybe you just drop this over here. So if you do that, then what's gonna happen? Probably.
They slide rook over.
No, not this, because this. So it's like.
Yeah.
So probably they can't escape because the queen is here. So they're just maybe they're just stuck.
But no, because if they move rook h2, you take. That gives you an opportunity to go. Well, that gives them an opportunity to go f1.
Mm-hmm. But then you give a check here. I mean, you would have won a rook. That's what would have happened.
Yeah.
So I need to keep remembering that it's not all about checkmate all the time. Like I keep thinking it is.
This one's definitely about checkmate. They're in such a that
It
position.
really does feel
feels very
like
much
it's in
like
checkmate, but then again, I think I feel that way about all of them.
That is kind of what a lot of these higher puzzles have been. Like, I mean, except for the last one.
It like
but
feels like
still.
checkmate, but like it's in such a way that it's not really checkmate, except for that one where it was mate in one, and it felt too good to be true. But you know,
that one was stupid.
that one was very dumb. You and the deer, yeah, because like, yeah, or if I do this, then they can't do it. They can't move the king here, so they would be forced to move the rook somewhere or just do whatever. So it's probably this. Yeah, and then just check here.
Yeah, then you just go up. Or what if you took? Okay.
No. And then
what?
you just take the free rook. I think you just take the rook.
Yeah, I think you just take the rook. And
yeah,
then,
okay.
Yep. And then if that were to continue, you'd probably, yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't checkmate like it felt like it was. Again.
Yeah, it
there's
was
this.
Close to checkmate.
That feels good. And then you have to move here.
Me? I hope it is. It probably isn't, but it would
no,
be cool if it was.
No, I don't think it is. This guy is getting all up in my business. Okay, so if I were to move this here, then you would have to move here. You can't move because of this bishop. But then, like, now what? It's not like any opportunities opened up because of that. So instead, what else could be done? Perhaps, I don't know. Is it something about taking one of these guys? Like.
Okay, so if you do push that pawn, where does the queen go?
Yeah, I mean, then, yeah, it can't take that yet, so the queen would have to move, like, here or something, to keep the attack. And then you just win the knight? Is that it?
I guess.
Again, it's like there's got to be. It's like it really. It really feels like that there's something here, but
there isn't. You just don't have enough there.
Yeah, just not enough. So just move up, and then yeah, just if I take this, then they'll just move here, and then I'll just drop back, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. There's a check here, but it gets taken by this. There's a check. No, there's no check there. There is. This is blocking this, so I can't have this. So I could have that. And they're probably not gonna they're not gonna take the bishop because one of the rooks is at stake. So if I did that.
Well, it's more than just the rook is at stake. It'd be checkmate that's at stake. If they took the bishop.
Mm-hmm. So if it was to be,
I think it is that. Because then they're forced.
And then you just take this. Yeah, I don't see what else it could be. Okay. Yay. White, move. Oh man, can't move here. Knight bad. What about there's a check here, that doesn't work. Check here. that doesn't
Yeah, but pawn
work.
takes.
I was
That
thinking like
doesn't
maybe
come
the
out.
queen is free, but not really. Because this bishop here can't like I was thinking this, but this. There's this, but that doesn't work because of the rook. I really hope that this would open something, but it doesn't. If I do this, then you take, and then this is check. That's checkmate
Yeah,
because you're
yeah,
covering
that's-
this and you're covering that.
Yep. Yeah, that's checkmate. Check queen. Yep.
Okay.
Excellent.
I don't. Even if I were to,
God damn it,
I would
it's
never
so hard.
actually lead up to a game that would happen. There's no way. Okay, I'm seeing here immediately that there's this. I don't know how that helps. Right.
Okay. Knight does feel tempting.
Yeah, so
You
knight
give a
moves
check.
here, and then they could just take
No, no,
here, but like.
No. Why would it? Why would queen take? It's defended by bishop. It'd be pawn takes. So they don't lose their queen.
Wait, what's attacking the queen if I move the knight here?
No, the bishop.
What? No, it's not.
No. If you move the knight there, and the queen takes the knight.
Oh yeah, then
Bishop
this.
take. Yeah.
You're right. Okay, so if I were to move this here, then pawn takes, then just
Yeah, but then
this.
you can just take a rook, and then that's checkmate. No, it isn't, because no.
No. Yeah, it is because of this.
No.
Or-
Because king could go b2. Because there'd be a pawn blocking the bishop.
Hmm. Well, you'd still win a rook at the end of the day, so that's still better. You go here, and then has to take. And then if you take, then
Is it... What would they do?
maybe cut off the queen with a bishop moving back, or maybe just like off like.
Oh no, there'd be a pawn on the... So yeah, they could do that, but why?
To cut off the, because the queen would be right here, and then the. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they. I don't know what they would do. Yeah, because this pawn would be. Oh wait, no, because this bishop is blocking, so the king wouldn't even be able to move here. So that's.
No, but there'd be a pawn blocking the bishop's way. Because that there would be a pawn on c6.
Yeah.
And then bishop can't prevent the king from going to b7.
Yeah, that blocks this. So even if that's, and even if this, that's still not checkmate yet. I mean, I guess you could just take the pawn.
Yeah, and then queen take, queen take.
Yeah.
Then you're threatening bishop.
Maybe. Okay, so to recap, if I were to do this, they have to take. I mean, they don't have to, but they're going to take.
Yeah.
And then I take the rook. Right, and then after I take the rook, and then you can take the you can take the pawn.
Yeah, but what do they do in the interim?
Okay,
what
wait.
do they do?
Wait, you bang, and then here, yeah.
And then what do they do?
I don't know. The queen would be right here. I don't know.
Do they move their queen to b3?
You know, what about... I mean, of course, I don't see any other solutions, so I guess I'll just try this. Yippee!
Oh, queen take. Okay,
probably.
Is it a queen trade? I guess it is.
Or do you take this first and then do? Is it this and this and this, or is it this?
No, it's queen take because
yeah,
then you lose
queen
a bishop.
takes.
If
And then
yeah, so it's queen
queen
takes,
probably
then
takes.
their queen probably takes, and then rook take.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you're winning.
So yeah, but if it was the other way, then
Yeah,
this,
'cause if
and
it's
then this, and
that,
then
then
this.
their
Yeah.
then
Okay.
their pawn takes bishop, and then you're down.
Okay. Got it. So interesting. There's a check here.
It's bad for everyone.
Probably this. But then king could
Why
just escape
that?
here.
Or go down.
Yeah, I could do this, and then king has to move here. And then maybe you back up. King has to move back down, and then rook comes in.
Yeah, but they're gonna block with a rook somewhere in there.
Yeah, but okay, wait, hold on. Yeah. So if I do queen first, you move up.
If you do that, then they go up. But then if you move queen up, they're gonna block with rook. So.
Oh, but then you could just move the queen down here.
Yeah, then you move queen down to get the diagonal. So then they have to come down with the king. Or
yeah, I have to move down with
they
move down with the king. And then
you go up to f3.
And then there's a white rook here, white rook king, and then queen here. But so, also nothing's protecting this guy, by the way.
Oh wait, yeah.
I forgot about that. So
yeah, so nothing's preventing them from just taking then.
So even if but if they do this, and if they do this, then just this.
Yeah, that's checkmate.
Okay, so not that.
So they won't do that. So then they go up.
Okay, so this, go up, and then I guess you could also just do this, but then they escape. So not that. Do this, and then they move, and you move back up. They probably block with the rook.
Okay, wait. So what if instead of doing that, you open with rook? You do rook check.
Rook check, and
so
then
don't
if
go
they
up, they're forced to either take pawn or so they probably take pawn. And then you go there. They'd go to the right. And then you just come in with checkmate.
And this is checkmate?
Yes.
That is checkmate. That is checkmate.
Yes.
Hi.
Okay.
Do I just take the rook and be up? That doesn't feel right. I could. No, I can't give a check there because then they just move up. Well, if they just move up, then I can just take this. Right?
Well, no, because if you go there, they take pawn.
If I move here, oh yeah, they just take the pawn. You're right. So if I just take this, then they move down. I probably just take the rook here.
Sequence. Yeah. So you take rook.
And then
you go queen on the diagonal. Yep.
Yeah. And that's just checkmate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright,
what can I do here? I can take that. I can also take this, but then this. So maybe I can distract this queen from being over here so I can take this bishop. That's like what I'm thinking, right?
So let's see. That goes there.
If I do this and you take. But even if I do this and this and this, that's not winning. So
okay, no, but what if you did knight e5? You threaten their queen. You force their bishop to come in.
Or they... What if
No,
they could just move the
that's not
queen out
right.
the way?
Yeah,
So
that too.
if I do this, then
Yeah, if you do
this,
that, then rook take. Then our rook takes.
and then rook takes, and then queen takes,
Then
and
the queen
that's just
takes.
losing because then you lost both rooks. So
Yeah.
instead, if I were to...
Okay, wait. So what if you drew the queen out by doing bishop takes bishop? So
Okay.
yeah.
And
So then you force the
you...
queen to either come in, and then you can take that.
And then that comes with check.
Yes. Yeah. So then bishop. Yeah. Excellent. Yep. And then.
Okay, and then you're
yep,
up.
There we go.
Got it.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and then their queen's like back there, can't do anything.
There's a... Whoops. There's a check right here. That's something I see. There's also... No, there's not that. If I perform a check there, then they just drop back here, and then there's nothing else. If I... I don't see what happens if I take this, because then they just drop
So
back.
if you do that, then they go left.
They just... Yes, and then there's nothing else, because I can't do this because this guy's blocking the way. And then these guys will... Because these guys are like imminently in checkmate. So
Yeah.
I feel like
So
I might...
we either need to give a
I
check.
might need to get rid of one of these pieces first. Right, so...
Yeah, so if you do that, then they take with pawn.
Take with pawn because that's
queen.
still threatens this. But if I take with queen, then just rook takes,
then rook.
and then this. Or not that, but you know, you would be losing your queen. So then instead...
Okay, so then rook, then move rook up one. You don't take bishop, you just move it up one.
But then the queen gets taken. So...
Yeah, but then you can... No, that still don't work out.
So...
Okay, then move queen up one.
If I move queen up one... But then... They move this, then this, then this. I don't know. That doesn't feel very... I don't like that. But I don't see anything else, and also I don't see why they can't just move up here. So then... What is it? Do I just stop checkmate from happening? Is that the puzzle?
I think that's what it is. So I think you move queen up.
But to which square does it matter?
No, I'd say go straight up, because then you have a decent offensive diagonal.
So if I have this... But then they don't have to even try checkmating me. They could just run away. And then if you take this and then you take back with the bishop...
Yeah, and then They probably do pawn take. Well, no, they wouldn't do pawn take. They do rook take, queen take, pawn take, bishop take.
So if we were to do that, then
that
you move.
seems right.
You move back here, and then after that, rook takes. Other rook takes, for example, and then queen takes, and then if pawn takes and this, and then you're up a bishop. Is the result of that?
Up a bishop and pawns.
And then you take with this guy. And then you take with this guy.
Queen take.
And then...
Oh, that's just the puzzle.
Wait, what? Why do you want to do this?
Why but
I guess just to take a piece, any piece before the queen dies.
Oh yeah, so that way they don't lose completely on material. It's a more even trade. I mean, they're still down a pawn from that. But it's more even than what it would have been.
So if this, then they would just run away. I mean, I guess then the other bishop can come in, but then they run away again. So if I give a bishop check, then they're stuck, and then they have to move over here. And then the... Wait, so if bishop check, then king moves here. And bishop back, that's a check. And then if king moves back up, then queen moves here, and that's checkmate. Hi! Okay, got it. Okay. What can I do here? I can take the knight. I can take the pawn. Actually, I could take this pawn because this knight can't move. Is there something else? This knight is stuck here, can't go anywhere. And then after that, what are they going to do after that? Nothing? What is the move after this? Move a castle? I don't know. And then I guess you just take this and then you get it, but then the rook would be right here. So if the rook was right there, then you can do this. Okay, so either way, you can't castle. So if you do that, then they don't have any moves. Yeah, and then I guess you just take this knight, and then you take the pawn? Or is there something else? Or I could do this to get both of these guys. That might be better. I think that's better. Yeah. What? The engine doesn't even try to save one of them, it just gives up. Okay. Best move for black.
The engine's goals are beyond our comprehension.
Exactly, we don't know what the engine even means.
Okay, so here we have to move king. Then we get a revealed attack on the queen.
Yeah. So we need to move it.
The question is, where do we move it? Probably
to either
down.
of these
Probably
squares.
Down to the right.
Yes. Well, why not here? Because they... yeah,
if they go If they continue the attack with their queen, it ends up being a queen trade.
If we move right here, then they could move over here or back, I guess. Or not back there, but like back here. If I move down here,
then they either go
What's
to that same spot. They go to.
Could move here, but then that's a check, and then we lose this, so we can't move here.
Yeah.
So we have to move here. And then after we move here, it's a discovered attack here. So,
yeah, so they have to move the queen.
They have to move the queen back. And then after the queen moves back, maybe take this because that's just a free knight then, and then you're doing that. Okay. So again, we can't move here because of this.
Looks right.
So we have to move here.
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah, that's about what I thought was gonna happen. Yeah. Then of course knight takes.
Best move for whites. If I move this here, then you will move this because you will be protecting this guy. So I could also do this. Because then they either have to move or lose a rook. And if they take, then I just take this. Or they can't move there, sorry, they have to move like here. So I think that's it. Because then if I move the knight there, and the king could move over here though, but then they just lose a rook, so I guess it's still winning. I don't see any other possibilities here. If they move here, then this is just bad. So I think it's knight up here.
Yeah, if you go there,
and then you just take the rook.
And then you take. All right.
Okay.
Excellent.
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 There's check here.
There's also check if you go d6. What's different?
There are two checks.
I guess the options of where it could go.
Yeah, if you do this, then they are forced to move here, and then this is checkmates. Is that it? Is that just it?
I think so. That looks right.
Or they could block with this. If they block with that, then wait, then what?
Then you slide over to the right. Then they're forced. No. So if they block, then you go
just one square.
D6. No, not there, because then they go to the left. You go queen d6, forcing them to go to the right like earlier.
Okay, wait, hold on. So
actually, wait, no.
you
yeah. So they block, then you go queen d6, and that's just checkmate. No, but then they bring up queen to block that, or rook to block.
Or
they bring up queen to block. No, they do queen block, because then you can still move queen back up, and they'd have issues. So then if they do that.
So okay, what? wait. Queen check, bishop block.
What if you take the bishop with the rook to prevent it from blocking?
Like right now? So if I take the bishop, if I take this now,
takes. Or do
no,
they do
but
something
then they just this takes.
Oh yeah, queen take, yeah.
So we have to move the queen out of the way.
Rook.
Okay, so
rook f1 to give a check.
Yeah, but then the queen will just take it.
Oh wait, yeah. Wait.
So I think it is this. That gives the least amount of moves because this is just checkmate. So it has to move here, and then if you move back here,
but then they block with the queen.
They block with the queen, and if they block with the queen,
then we drop queen back?
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm having trouble like imagining this in my head. Like I'm trying to imagine the pieces on the board, but I just can't do it very well. So queen there, black queen there, black bishop there. And if that happens, then is there a way you can deflect the... I take the queen, then the rook takes.
Wait.
There's nothing, then you're just down.
Yeah, so you do queen check, bishop block.
Bishop
then
blocks.
You move rook to f1.
Like that?
Yes. Because then you're threatening checkmate.
And then if queen takes...
Then you can slide.
Oh wait, no, because the queen would be protecting it. Yeah, wait, no, because the queen would be protecting it, so that's not an option.
Not that. You would slide queen over to d6 like we were talking about, but their queen can't block anymore. If they were to take the rook. So yeah, so then if you did that, then
yeah, that would be checkmate, right? Okay.
Yeah, basically.
So, okay, wait, so move here, and then if the rook slides over, they can't take because it's protected by the queen. So instead, I would need to move it over here, and if I move it over there, then what? Now there's a rook here, I guess. Does that stop anything from happening? Okay, wait, so... Queen slides over. They must block with something. Block with the queen. If they block with the queen, then... block with the queen. I don't see how this changes stuff. If I move the queen over and there's a rook here, there is a queen blocking now, there's a bishop here. What does that change?
Wait. What if that
block
then bishop,
and then...
No, but what if you bring rook up?
Like...
Yeah, yes,
up
you bring
here?
rook up. Yep. No, all the way up.
All the way up. Give a check and then they take. And then this is checkmate?
And then checkmate. Yeah, there's nothing they can do against that.
Okay, so you go
I
here.
don't think.
And that...
Yeah,
you
block.
Here.
Yep.
You have to take.
They're forced to take. Yeah, they don't have an option.
Yeah, forced to take, and then this is checkmate.
Yeah, that's checkmate.
Okay, nice. Let's see. What can I do immediately? You can take the pawn.
You can do a number of things.
You can do a lot. You can take the bishop.
Can't take another pawn.
If I... What is there to do? You can take with the horsey.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know. It's just stuff you can do.
You lose material doing that.
You can take with the horsey.
Okay.
You can take with the bishop. And then nothing.
Yeah.
You can...
What? What if you slide a rook over to attack that bishop, though?
Yeah, but like, which one? There's got to be something more specific.
Okay, so then what?
I was thinking this because of this, but I don't think that does anything. Because even if
Yeah, so if they do that, then
yeah,
they
even if
capture
this,
rook knight, then we
this,
capture. Yeah, but
or
then they
even
bring in
this,
rook, but then we also
yeah,
end up
yeah,
capturing knight.
yeah, but this would then be protected by the rook, so then you just lose this. Yeah, so instead, there's got to be something else. Oh, there is this. You could attack both of these guys with this because this is being protected by this knight here.
Yeah.
So if I were to do that, then I guess they would be forced to take this. Because then, yeah, wait. Because if I move this here and attack these guys, then you would just take this guy down here.
Okay, so then do we want to do something to preemptively protect against that? Like move the rook over?
Okay, wait. So if the bishop gets taken,
Yeah, but then that. Okay.
then you could take the rook, and then there's nothing they could do. Like they'd take back the bishop, and then you will have gotten a but then you would have only gotten a rook, and then you would have sacrificed both bishops for a rook. That's not any good.
What if you do a combination of them where you do knight takes bishop, and you? No, that feels more wrong. That's inviting an attack on the king. You do both of them together.
If you take this, if you take this and this, and then you have to take this back, and then I guess they don't have to take with the rook.
If they don't take with the rook, then what do they do?
If they don't take with the rook,
you're threatening to move your bishop over to threaten their other rook.
Yeah, they probably might just like push this pawn upwards just to block an attack on this rook. So that's not any good. I guess you can also take this pawn. But I don't like that trade. The trading feels weird. This is definitely more aggressive, which is why I'm like leaning towards it. But then what, right? Because after that, then you just get taken, and even if I can't just take the rook, because then the bishop will be taken and I will have just lost 2 bishops and only garnered 1 rook, and both of my bishops are doing something and this rook is only doing 1 thing. So instead, if I capture this immediately, then knight will, knight will capture, bishop captures, and then if rook comes down, then I can't capture this knight because it will be protected. So then if there's a rook down here, I do have a queen here.
No, okay, so you do knight takes, they do knight take.
Knight takes, knight takes.
Results in a discovered attack on the knight that also gives check.
I see, that does give check, you're right. So this gives check. Yeah. And then they'd have to like move.
Yeah, they'd probably just retreat.
And then you can move your queen out of the way.
Yeah.
I see what you mean, yeah. Of this.
Yep.
And then you can take this with check.
And okay, that That is the puzzle.
And then
Alright,
it wants this,
king
I
moves
guess.
out of the way, then you take.
And then bishop takes, and then trades, and
Yeah, then
then
rook
it wants
take.
to attack the queen. Okay.
Okay.
That one
Okay,
isn't.
yeah, that makes sense.
That one's a bit. That one I can kind of see what the engine's doing. Okay, so immediately I can give a check by moving here. I can see that. And then the king. Where would the king even move if I did that?
Why?
Because of this.
Why give a check? Oh,
I don't know, because I can. I just look for
I
checks
missed
first.
That it was pinned.
Yeah. Okay. So if that happens, then king might move like over here or something. And if that happens,
okay, so then if it goes over there.
I could just take this guy immediately, I guess. With check. And you.
Yeah, then queen take.
And you. Or no, then this. Right? Yeah. So this,
Yeah.
then this.
Yeah, then you just won a queen.
Win the queen. You would have given up. Yeah, you would have given up a knight for a queen, so that's better. And then this. And then this. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Alright.
Oh.
What was this one?
Probably move the king up.
Move for black. Yeah, because we need to escort the pawn.
Mm-hmm. So just king up.
They're not going to be able to. Yeah,
and
so
then.
Wait, yeah, just push pawn.
Yeah, because if they push a pawn, then they'll just take this.
No,
then,
they're. Yeah. So then you push pawn.
Yeah, you just push it, and then you just push it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, so here I can give a check by moving here. So if I do that, then if they move over here, then I can give a check here. And they'll have to drop back. But then, like, I don't have anything. Or is it this to take this? Is that what it is? Is it just that? That one's a lot simpler. I feel like it's that. Because if I do this and then they take,
right.
and then, but if they don't take, then they'll just move. They'll just like slide over, like.
Yeah, but if they slide over, then they're risking checkmate.
Then this is just checkmate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And same with over here. So it must be this. And then you just take the queen.
And then you just take queen.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that's winning. Yeah.
Coolio. Best move for black. Okay, I can just take the queen immediately if I wanted to. And then once I do that...
There is something about bishop g4.
Yeah,
I don't know what, but it is an idea.
Yeah, I was seeing that too. So we need to make sure this queen doesn't die first.
That too, yeah.
So if we take this guy and then move you over here...
okay, so if we take queen,
and then this,
then that, yeah,
and then
what do they do?
Probably just move the king out of the pin, I guess. But then if they
already imagine moving bishop to take the pawn.
Yeah, and then it takes both of these.
Yeah.
Right. So just to recap, this. And then
we move bishop.
Move bishop here because the pawn can't take any. Or no, it can take it.
It could after you do that trade.
Yeah, here it's pinned, but after the trade it's not. Oh wait, is it? No. Wait.
No, because then king take.
Oh, I was just thinking like here, and then if this takes, you take. You'll be giving up a rook and a bishop for a queen, though.
Your position.
Oh, but you have a queen.
Yeah, I guess you would still have the queen.
Yeah, you would win the queen. Yeah, so rook takes, queen can't take, king takes, bishop here to deflect the king, and then you just take the queen. Is that it?
Yeah. That seems right, yep.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, it
Yay.
does. Okay. It does even let us.
Oh.
Oh
Is
boy.
it just...
No, you need to bring king back.
Probably
you. Need
you.
to protect your pawns.
Yeah, because this king is kind of stuck. This king can't do anything. It's stuck here. So I think you just move this guy. Because like otherwise he'll just have to drop back or something. Can't move to any of these squares.
So it's either push pawn or bring back king.
I think it's push pawn.
Push pawn feels right.
You push the pawn, then
what
king.
Did they do? King
I don't know.
G6.
This probably.
Or yeah. Then if
and then
that,
I guess you just take it.
No,
and then
you do king takes pawn, and then you just push your pawn.
So you.
By the time they get all their stuff out of the way.
And then takes, go. No, they would get there first.
Okay, so then you take pawn.
With the pawn. So take pawn with pawn like this.
Yeah, and then they'll probably end up taking the pawn.
Take back.
And then you push your pawn.
Or... No, I take first. Because otherwise, if I push this here, then this, and then it's no pawns left. So...
Oh, wait, yeah. Sorry, I got the count off.
Okay, so...
Yeah, so
this. Push. Capture. King can move like down here.
Yep, down there.
King will move down here.
Move her pawn up.
And then pawn just
to be
moves.
Protected. Yeah, then that's just to win. And yeah, that's just basic. Okay.
Sure. It's probably just you take the pawn, right?
It is, yeah. Yeah, just take that, and then you push right pawn, and then you win.
And then, yeah. Yay. Live stream often about chess? Nope, it was my first chess stream ever.
Should do more of
No, I prefer the music. But chess is fun.
The music streams are better. Sometimes. I don't know.
Sometimes. Well, in both of them you can see me be incompetent. In this one it's just more apparent.
Yeah, because more people know how to play chess than how to compose music.
That is true. Probably.
And also playing chess is less subjective than music.
Yeah, music more subjective. In this one I like silently struggle though, in music I like audibly struggle. So I think here you could take this guy, and then once you take that guy
for white.
And then like nothing.
That's
I guess.
an option. Knight G7's an option.
So you could take this. You could take this. No, because of this. You could take this.
But if.
Alright, but then this. Though? Yeah. So I think.
I think knight takes bishop is probably a good.
So if this,
option.
Then
that gives
this,
check.
and
Probably.
then maybe like that. Queen slides over here, but then they just take the knight back.
Yeah,
or no, you could move it back here. So you back here.
And then you could do a discovered attack after that.
Yeah, you could drop it back here or something.
Probably. Yeah, that works. Well, no. Yeah, it would.
So you take this. They're in check.
They go to the right.
They try to take back the knights.
Or would they avoid it all and just go to the left anyways?
If they go to the left, Then I
Then you go back.
then
Then your
you
knight goes
just
back to where it
no
was.
no you
but
take this because your queen's still under attack,
yeah.
and
Okay.
then you would have just won a bishop. So they're probably not going to do that. They're probably going to at least try to go back and take the knights. You have to protect the knight from dying, so you move your queen out, and then their move
Okay.
is probably to move out of the pin. So
It wouldn't be a pin. It would be a threatened.
or threaten discover. You're right. You're right. So they move out of
Yeah.
the discovered check. But then at the end of that, you would have won a bishop, so that's still better.
Yeah. And then they'd still be in the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess knight takes.
So even if I were to, so just to see why this trade is actually bad, if I take this, then they could just take this knight, and then now your queen is under attack. So that's not that's not good.
That's not good.
And okay, so better to do this. Hey, so I guess I just go back with the plan of protecting my knights.
Yeah.
Or I could take
That
the
doesn't
rook
feel
and
right.
sack
There's
the
something
knights,
else.
right? Because
Yeah,
then I
and
would
then
have just
you-
gained the bishop and a rook for a knight.
Yeah.
I think that's better. Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
Um.
Okay, there's a check here. If I do a
Yeah,
check
they
there,
They would move to the right.
they'd probably move here. They can't move here because of the bishop.
Then-
And then after that, is it
Yeah.
just you sack your queen and then do this?
I think so. That looks right.
Okay, so to
Yeah, they
recap,
can't block with anything.
this, and then sack your queen, rook takes, king is right here, bishop is covering the square, so it's checkmate.
Yep. That looks right.
And then,
Yep, then queen take.
takes, and then takes
Yep.
checkmate.
Excellent.
Okay. Here's a knight.
I don't really think that's a good idea.
Yeah, because then the king just
generally
has all
giving
these
up
three pawns.
in the end game is a bad idea. But if you move bishop to reinforce the pawn,
Like
as it takes
here?
yes. So then
And
they
then
just
the
move
knight-
right away, then it's a waste.
Yeah, the knight will just jump back to like here or something and then threaten this pawn. I mean, I guess you could
Well,
put this here, but then like the bishop is just another pawn. So
I mean, that's like half the point of a bishop.
I don't think so. You're getting demoted,
no.
buddy. So instead,
Okay, so if it's not that,
if I do take this and then they take back, and then there's nothing. Like, I mean, actually, you could move the king up, and then the king will be forced to move back. But then, like, you don't have anything after that. I mean, I guess you could move the king up here, but then this would be check. It's probably not that. If I had to take the knight and then give a check with the bishop, and then they
Okay,
can't
so
move
then
here,
king
they have to drop
goes
back.
up.
Or back
Although once
here.
yeah, it's more likely they go up to the right because that allows them to better protect all their pawns.
Hmm. I
Also,
mean,
we
either
have
one
to
is
keep in mind
possible.
Our king is kind of locked out of everything.
Yeah,
So,
so
if
if
anything,
we...
it'd actually be better if they go to the left to keep.
Well, either
defending
way,
that pawn.
this still wins the knight. Right, so
Yeah,
this
Yeah.
takes the knight.
taking the knight's definitely the first move.
It's kind of weird that they just... you know, that doesn't feel
But-
right.
That
Like-
feels odd, but sure.
It feels odd. I mean, it is a real
Well,
game,
what,
so...
What elo is this game?
At least
Is
let's
it-
keep it
Sure.
Alright.
Thanks, Elite Chess Rating, for nothing.
Oh,
We should do. I think
sorry.
after this we'll do opening puzzles.
Probably a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Or you know, going to bed.
Take the
'cause we've been at
knights!
this for over 3 hours now.
And then give a check here, I guess. I don't see what else there is to do. Nope.
Nope.
Is it to sack the bishop? No.
no.
Is it to move the king up? Because
It
then the
is.
king doesn't have any squares. Ah.
Yep.
And then you can
There it
take.
is.
And then you can take the
it
bishop.
with check.
Okay.
There you go.
Got it. Also, okay.
Alright, do you
Coolio.
want to try opening puzzles now?
Here, puzzle themes. Wow, look at all these end games. Okay.
Alright. This is an opening.
Yeah,
I
these are opening
guess.
puzzles. So
It's
You
close
can-
enough.
you can take this, and then if they take with the pawn, then you can just take this, but or you can take that. Actually, that makes more sense to take the bishop.
Yeah, that definitely looks right.
So take this, take back with pawn, take back with queen, probably bishop blocks, and then you take the bishop. And then I guess you're also not attacking that, but you're putting pressure on that guy. So
Then you
ooh.
should take rook, right? Or is that a trap?
I could take, but if I take the rook,
They block
Then-
with pawn to prevent your escape.
so I think it's better to just take the bishop because the bishop is doing more stuff.
Yeah.
Best move for black. Good move. I could just take the queen, I guess. I don't know how this is an opening, by the way. All the pieces are gone.
Yeah, at this point, this is more like mid-game, not opening.
No.
When
It's
I hear
very.
opening,
It's
I think we're still in the first like.
it's
10
called the
moves of
opening
game.
because it's very open. So
Sure.
king takes, and then now what? The rook comes in, I guess, but then this pawn is vulnerable. So queen up, and then king takes, and then is it the wait? Is it to then? Because like this pawn is like so close to promoting, right? So if I take this, then you. But then like the rook covers the square that the pawn gets to promote to. So obviously, I feel like it's obvious that I have to take the queen.
Okay, so if you do that, then
And king will like. I can't attack this guy, so. And it probably is going to actually drop back so it can block the pawn from promoting. That or it will move the rook to stop it from promoting. So.
I mean, or just rook takes it up promotion anyways.
But then you also have this, right? Because this rook is still free.
Yeah.
So I guess to recap, you take, and then the king is right here. You just move this here to protect this guy. And then
Yeah.
if like the king moves back or something to the square, you can put the rook here. And then you can move the rook up here. Oh, and also the knight is protecting the square. I forgot about that. if I move the rook up there, then the rook probably just has to take and then promotion. So
All right.
nope, it's
Nope,
not that.
never mind.
Nope, definitely not that.
Why isn't it that?
We can
What?
actually
Why isn't it rook there to
Right.
threaten the queen?
we can look at the engine later. Could move the rook here, but that doesn't do it. It's not like you can have a bishop here to.
Well, yeah, but by
threaten that
doing
guy.
that, you're threatening to take the queen.
I do this.
You're defending your pawn as well. Well, if you were to take the queen with the rook, you'd then be
wait, hold on.
defending.
I mean,
not with the queen, but like if you go rook d7.
It's probably not the best
then-
move, you know. Like it's a move, but there's probably something that's faster.
Like what?
I don't know. Is it just this?
I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, we're defended twice.
And then queen drops
If
back
they move
somewhere.
if they move out of the way, then we sack rook to promote,
That, and then you take,
and then pawn takes,
and then yeah, or something to that effect.
and then it's defended by queen.
Okay.
That works too.
So if that, then
move
is it
bishop up left, so f5.
or if that? But then like
Or would
yeah, why not like
the other one be better?
check? No. Well, I'm trying to see if there's a way to like move the king. You could do this or this.
Yeah.
Either of those work.
I think to the right's better because.
Well, no. If this, then the queen is attacking this guy.
Okay, yeah, but if the queen comes down, then we move our rook up.
Wait.
And then that's.
So if this, then this. Whoops. And then if this, then this. The rook will just take it. Or no, because it's being protected by the bishop too. So
yeah. Yeah, so I think it is bishop over to the right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
What are they planning?
I don't know. I guess you just take the queen now.
Take.
Okay, wait. So if we drop back here, why is this incorrect? Because this is what we predicted. Okay, and this is what we wanted to do. And then, but then, I mean, it still says +2 advantage. Why does it say promote tonight? You know what? Sure.
Man.
Just promote tonight. Oh,
My
probably because
Discord
you lose less points by promoting to a knight and then it being taken.
Here, let's see.
That's so stupid. Okay. Coolio. I can't do this anymore because I have to go to bed. I definitely stayed up longer than I should have. So thanks for watching the chess stream. I'm never doing this again. Just kidding. But it was very sad. I definitely don't need to be doing chess puzzles that are like 2,000 times higher than my actual rating. I think I need to start from the beginning. I just thought this would be a fun idea. So, bye.
I would
get out of here.